Whoa, before this video even begins, I notice most of my viewers aren't even subscribed, so what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell to get notified about my latest videos, and also smash the like button for good measure. Anyway, enjoy the video! Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody. I'm Jamie Vision, and welcome to a brand new video, or welcome back to the channel, more to the point. Now, I'm sure you may remember me doing a little introductory video in regards to what the channel is all about. It's, of course, Eurovision related, it's reactions, it's analysis, it's opinions, you get the idea. And today we are kicking off in our series of basically 41 videos of reacting to every single song that is taking part in this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Now, I'm doing this in a guess random order, but I'm also doing this in an order whereby it's come from the Eurovision Song Contest website in when they were released. And first up in that list is Israel. More specifically, and apologies for any mispronunciations, Eden Elen with Set Me Free for Israel. So let's go and react. Though a little disclaimer in regards to all of this, I have heard of some of these songs before, but nevertheless I'm giving them an extra listen to just to make sure that, you know, I properly understand the structure, how it's going to appeal to the juries as well as televoters, everything you can imagine. Well, as far as my brain can take me, that is for sure. But yeah, let's go and give them a listen. I'm trying not to watch a music video. It's like straight into the chorus. I like the bass sound. Actually the same structure as what she had last year, really. It's definitely a good beat, there's no denying that. It's definitely one of them sort of like cliche boom ba boom ba boom ba boom ba boom ba. That's so cliche to these sort of modern pop songs these days. So overused. Not necessarily a criticism, but just something generic, you know what I'm saying? Something safe is how I feel. They'll build up and beat it out. So typical of any sort of dance pop number, you feel. I mean, it's safe, that's what I'm saying, it's so safe. But then again, it's safe in a good way because people will listen to that. It is a generic thing. Not a bad bridge though. Key change. Okay, that was it. Okay, fine. They sort of like just went kind of, to set me free. Okay, fair enough. Okay, it's good. I mean, it's likeable. But it's like, it just doesn't set me, it doesn't, I'm afraid, fully set me free. No pun intended there. Obviously you have the generic structures of like the boom, ka boom, ba boom, ka boom. And I know that from a drummer. That is such a generic beat when it goes boom, ka boom, ba boom, ka boom, ba. It's like, how do I describe it? You get it on the offbeat, the cap it, or ba boom, pa. It's that boom, ka boom, pa. It's like a generic sort of offbeat where it's like, oh yeah, kind of thingy-doo. It's so overused, but I'm not surprised it's one of the songs, or is going to be used quite a bit in this year's Eurovision Song Contest. For any sort of song that it's poppy, it's dancey, it's going to get people going. I can see it doing well with the televoters. I can absolutely see it doing well with the televoters. Juries though, I think it's a case of they've heard it all before. I'm not so sure it's going to do that well with the juries. I can see it probably in the bottom half of the list. For me personally, televoters, I think they will go for it, especially if there's a good performance of it on the night. She's definitely got the looks for it. It's like she's one of them sort of artists. I did briefly sort of look over to the video, but she's one of them sort of artists that does come across as sort of like, yeah, come on, let's do 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 do, skabadooba doobie. So I think she will come across well. I'm not so sure you're gonna. Well, then again, she's gonna have dancers to it. She did last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if she added dancers to it. The lighting is going to be effective. Whether they'll the lighting will be big time. It will be a big. The lighting will be key. Is what I'm saying. The lighting will be key in terms of how it comes across to the viewers. It was a bit, I think, a little flashy, but not too flashy. Bad enough to sort of like, oh, you know, bring this home, da, 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 set me free, I don't know all the words, but I get the structure, I like it, but God, is it generic. I hate to say that it is generic. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody! I am Jamie Vision, and welcome back to a brand new video where once again I react to another one of the entries in this year's Eurovision Song Contest. And this time it is now the turn of Moldova, the country that has sent in weird stuff since 2011. And as far as the weird theme is concerned, well, they're kind of continuing it this year. The song this year is called Sugar, performed by Natalia Gordienko. And I think I've heard it once, but effectively in this video, I'm just going to treat it as if I've heard it the first time because I've only heard it the once. And to be honest, there's so many songs that I've had to go through. This one has been, I guess, forgettable. But anyway, this is what I'm here for, to react to these videos and songs once again. That's my job at the moment. Well, sort of a job anyway, but this is something that I wanted to do, okay? So just, I hope you like it, because it'd be fantastic. But before we begin, be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to get more of my videos, which would be absolutely fantastic if you could, because not only am I going to be reacting to every single one of this year's entries in the Eurovision Song Contest, but I'm also going to be talking about all sorts of things in regards to Eurovision building up to the main event itself. But never mind about all that now, because I'm reacting to Moldova. I almost said Romania then, but they are neighbours, kind of understandable. Let's get on with Moldova, shall we? I've drunk a lot of Pepsi. Yep, this is definitely weird already. All pink, legs out in a box. About your typical sort of beat so far. Oh, instant kick there. Not just the legs. Okay, so it's just like got an instrument hook in the verse. It's like of course, no lyrics in the chorus, where it's just like a load of fancy dance moves. Bum bum ba da da da. Oh my god, how easy recognisable is that? That is, well, it's good. I can't say it's bad. It's obviously supposed to be some sort of hanky-panky kind of music going on here. It's not really doing anything for me. And there you go. So yeah. Okay. It's laughable in the fact that, yes, my god, it's typically Moldova. It can send in weird stuff if necessary, and that is near the top. In terms of performances that can literally grab a hold of you for your fullest attention, as if to say, yep, that's a Eurovision entry, alright? At the end of the day, it is not the most memorable song out there. I mean, oh my god, the amount of cliche-based modern pop songs that are in this year's competition, it's like, does anybody actually want to win it this year? And I sound like a broken record already with the words cliche, modern pop songs. But like, Moldova's just going to get lost in the crowd, if I'm honest with you. I obviously don't dislike it. I expect it. Do you know what I expect? Do you know, I don't know what to expect. I must admit, it's I don't know whether this is going to qualify or not. It is really up in the air at the moment. It's just one of those songs where it should catch you, but it's like done everything in its power to play safe, but yet go further down the safeness, if you know what I'm saying. It's gone too safe, and therefore it's gone too, I hate to say it, boring. It's just so samey, so cliche. And yeah, it just really didn't do anything for me. I get the premise, I get the beat, but yeah, it's just going to get lost in a crowd. And I hate to say that for Moldova. I like the country, and I like what it's done in past Eurovision entries, especially the hats. But yeah, honestly, as far as this year is concerned, I hate to say it, but it's forgettable. I honestly think it's going to be forgettable. Especially when it comes to the semi-final, so I fear it could not qualify. And as far as this particular recording is concerned, I'm on the penultimate reaction now, as we literally head to the tiny little island that is Malta. And again, it's another artist that should have scheduled for 2020, but is back with another chance, and that is Destiny with the song Je me casse. This is, of course, a song that's in English and not in French, just so you know. Back in the good old days where you had to sing in your own language, some countries actually did just English-based titles and just sang the title in English only, but the rest of it would be in the native language, and therefore they could get away with it. But, oh well, it is what it is. And as always, quick disclaimer from the start. I've heard of it a few times already. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But before we start, click that subscribe button, simply because I am not only reacting to every single entry in this year's competition, but also I'm doing other videos, including the Eurovision series, and pretty much anything to do with Eurovision building up to the main event itself are come mid-May and stuff like that. So without any further ado, let's go react to Malta! Woo! Hey! Straight in with her vocals. Quite powerful ones as well. I wouldn't have thought a man like him would be perfect taste for her, but well, I know. Why on earth are they on a... I guess the moon there? Good pre-chorus, it has to be said. Okay. Wow, that's very disjointed as far as the main chorus is concerned. I'm sorry, but the chorus itself, I don't think should match with what the pre-chorus. It's like they made a bit of a mess of it. Definitely feminism power going on here. Oh, onto stage here. Oh, destined for greatness. Alright, if you say so. Oh, the old pre-chorus. I quite like this pre-chorus actually, because it brings out great vocals, which she does have. But then it does... I'm not so sure the chorus itself. And look, if you're going to create a chorus that doesn't feature any main vocals or anything like that, at least come up with a better structure than this, if I'm honest. Make sure you don't get wet, love. Unlike the rest of them. There you go. See, quite like this bit, actually. So I quite like this bit actually. And then like, okay, so they tweaked it a little bit at the end. Oh no, it's gone back down again, you see. Hey, and hashtag destined for greatness, if you bloody say so. Well, here's the thing, it's like, is it hashtag destined for greatness? As far as the song is concerned, I'm torn about that, if I'm perfectly honest with you. There's obviously a lot of hype for this one, as I've seen with the fan base. A lot of people do like it. And I think at the time of recording, it is either second favourite or actual favourite along with Switzerland in the bookies' opinions. Not necessarily as far as like different polls or anything like that are concerned, but it's up there. To which I say... how overrated. Well, I do like the song. I think it's okay. You know, I can't see why it shouldn't qualify. I think it's definitely a good qualifier. For me, I can't see it being anywhere near the top 5. It's either middle ground or may squeeze in the top 10 as far as I'm concerned. But it's just the disjointed nature of it all that I just find a little bit baffling. Also, I think there are definitely connotations of the Israeli winner from 2018 on here, minus the chicken noises. Obviously, it's an artist who, in theory, shouldn't be, you know, out here, you know, for all the world to see, showing off her talents and everything. But the fact that she's got great vocal power, and trust me, she has good vocal powers because she's performed live. She's performed live many times, including, of course, winning the Junior Eurovision Song Contest quite a few years ago. She's definitely got the talent, but of course, it's just her persona and I suppose her brand. Many people wouldn't see very, you know, those at the top of the music industry chain would see as positive. But the fact that she's out there and showing off her greatness, you know, good for her, absolutely. We all, you know, emphatically great about that. But as far as the actual song itself is concerned, I'm just struggling as if to see it as an actual winner, if I'm honest with you. It's middle table, I think, at the very least, but I think it's a qualifier. It's just the simple disjointed level and the fact that it sounds like a winning song from previous times. For me, I think we'll set it back. And today I am keeping up with demand, it has to be said, because quite a number of you have commented on my other reactions. You've liked also on a lot of them, especially Finland and Lithuania, as far as I'm aware. So yes, this is quite up to date, especially when you consider, as of the 11th of March, I am reacting to, yes, the United Kingdom. Of course I'm reacting to the United Kingdom. Why wouldn't I be? The song this year for the United Kingdom is Embers, performed by James Newman. To say that there's been hype surrounding the UK entry, well, that's an understatement. Especially when you consider that this time around the BBC, when they were like promoting it, they were more excited, they were more like wanting you to like it, kind of, well, not wanting to you to, but they were kind of hoping that you would get on board with them. Now, there was a couple of tweets surrounding it that saying, oh, it could be a potential winner. But, as always from the start, quick disclaimer, I've heard of it twice already. I think I'm aware of that. Nevertheless, I'm keeping up with demand as far as the UK is concerned because, well, I'm British, so that's... Well, that's understandable, I guess, from my perspective. Anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? But before we begin, be sure to click that subscribe button in order to check out all of my Eurovision-related content, because I know that a substantial amount of you aren't subscribed, so please click that subscribe button. It would be extremely appreciated. Anyway, on with the video! Oh, good start, good beat already. Very typical sound in terms of modern pop songs. It goes like doo 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 doo. The song kind of suits his voice, as we said with James Newman. One thing I have noticed on the video is that it's number 4 on trending at the time of 5:30 this evening on Thursday the 11th of March. Good chorus already. Bit of a clap effect. I'm not so sure about the backing vocals kind of repeating the lyrics, but there you go. Do 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 do. Ooh, a bit of a dance anthem thing going on here. Trumpets, I guess, coming into it. Or samey lyrics. Oh yeah, the trumpets are making it. Do do do. Do 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 do. Catchy, catchy. Oh my god, such cliche lyrics. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but hey, it's cliche at best. Slash worst. You would have thought it'd be called something else other than embers. Maybe ashes, or what they're saying now, light up the room. It's about your typical sort of beat, that, in terms of the chorus, and the way it's all sounded together and mixed together. That is so cliche of modern pop songs, but it's tried and tested, and it does work. Kind of working for me, so I can see myself sort of, yeah, wave my flag. I'm guessing this is the bridge. Samey lyrics, then, if that's the case. Oh, of course, it's bridge going into the chorus. It's kind of like mixing both. I like the fact that they don't, with this main bit, that they don't put any lyrics into it. I think that's pretty cool. There you go, how about that? Okay, so, first thoughts. Oh, I don't dislike it. I do like this year's UK entry, which, it has to be said, is a damn sight better than what we've had in recent years. To be honest with you, I've never been this excited for a UK entry, or more to the point, you know, to get behind it. I would say since 2017. That one, of course, was Lucy Jones with Never Give Up On You, and I got excited about that, and I was giving it anyway, this one, I can give it a good little jump up and down. I would say okay, yep, cool. Okay, so let's go into the details of that now. Never mind all the do-do-do-do's and the da-da-da's. It does hook you instantly in terms of the verse. There's no denying that. It's just like do-do-do-do-do-do-do. It is very typical, and I'll repeat myself, I know, but it is... there's a lot of cliches into it. I think this just screams cliche, but at the same time it does scream safe. It's safe in terms of the way it's structured in the verse, way it's structured in the chorus. That being said, for a change, I think, in terms of, you know, emphasising the chorus and the fact that there's no lyrics involved and trying to just get people in with a good beat, there's trumpets involved, which is rarely used. But the good news is, because it is rarely used, it's going to make it unique in that perspective. And at the end of the day, well, if you're looking towards Romania 2017, it's going to work. And 2010 for that matter. Now, I'm not necessarily comparing that section of the trumpets to some stroke project, but you get what I'm saying. But that being said, the rest of it is in its typical safe cliche world. That being said, I do like it. It is, I think, a surefire hit to catch with the televoters, and I really do believe that. It's a surefire hit with the jurors. I think they're going to, you know, it's safe for them. You know what I'm saying? It's like the jurors are going to think, or the televoters are going to be like, yeah, I think they'll like this, and we'll give them an extra tick. The televoters, well, that's up in the air. I don't know for sure. But all of that being said, do I think it's a winner? No, it's not a winner. I'm afraid not. But nevertheless, I can't see why it shouldn't do well. But bear in mind, I am not going to include the whole Brexit malarkey and the vaccination malarkey involved in all of this, because at the end of the day, Eurovision is supposed to be separated from all things political and other things social, okay? The song is likeable, and I think other people around Europe will like it, and Australia for that matter. How are you doing? Good eye. I think it will do okay. May squeeze top 10, I'm not sure. That's a toss-up on that one. Hey, that is what I think of it. I will get behind the UK entry. I will wave my flag, as I usually do. But I'm not going to go full pelt, oh, we're going to win this year, London 2022, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that. This is a safe entry, which will give us, I think, a good result, and hopefully we'll build upon there. Fingers crossed this freaking plan works for us. Today it is the turn of Ukraine, a country which quite literally stunned Russia in 2016 and then proceeded to push Russia, that were currently confined to a wheelchair, in 2017 off of a cliff. But then again, they had reasons to. Fair enough. But what's 2021 going to bring about? Well, we'll find out as we will see the performers of Goe, who again are they're the same performance as 2020, but thankfully they've got a little reprise, which is good. And we're going to be reacting to the song Shum. Literally, that is the title of it. Just Shum. But before we do, before I do, quick disclaimer: I've heard of this, I think, just the once. I can't remember much about it, other than it was a lot of beats involved. The BPM was kind of skyrocketing. And of course, it would be fantastic if you please subscribe to my Eurovision YouTube channel. We're based not only a little bit of a whistle there. As I say, I'm going to be reacting to every single Eurovision YouTube channel, Eurovision song in this year's competition. But also I'm going to be doing a little series called Inquivision, which will start this Saturday, if it kind of ever already hasn't. Because I'll be releasing this Saturday, so it'll be coming out today. It'll be out earlier today, because I will be releasing this later, so yeah. Go and watch the first episode, it's about the Big Five, it's quite cool. And without any further ado, let's go and react to Ukraine. Oh, I like the little timing of the engines there, in regards to everything else. What is that thing around her nose? Imagine it is that sort of style of music, old Go Away. I kind of like the song last year, I'm not going to lie. So it's good to see a little bit of like local dialect in amongst Eurovision entries. It is actually good to see it now and then. I'm kind of taken to a different world here and amongst the flute. You can tell this is going to be quite fast paced already. It's building it up. Old DJ stuff going on. I wouldn't be surprised if they're near Chernobyl. Yeah, they're actually near Chernobyl. Holy Christ. That's a bit good flute playing, I guess. They're going to crank it up now. You wait for it to drop the beat and everything. Wait for it. Da 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 dee doo. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Kind of enjoyable, I'm not gonna lie. I'm bouncing up and down like a blue ass fly. And all in yellow, much like me. So for the first half it's like a good big build up, and the second half, which I'll just stop bouncing up and down now, it's just like bom bom bee bee doobie ba 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 bom. It's also quite recognisable in terms of the lyric style. Ooh, we're going high. And I think that's it. Well, they made use of the 3 minutes, I'll tell you that much. Do you know what? It is so refreshing to see, as I mentioned at the top of it, anything local to bring in towards the Eurovision Song Contest, not just from anything British related or English related or whatever, but anything of a proper local national pride sort of thing brought into Eurovision to showcase it in front of not just Europe, but the whole entire world. And of course Goe did that in 2020, which they kind of should have done, but they're going to bring it big time this year, and you know what, good for flipping them. Well done Ukraine for showing yourself off. While it's not quite my sort of taste in music, especially the first half of it, it's like a lot of build up in the first half of the song, but when it kicks in the second half of the song, there's bound to be a lot of people like, I guess, doing just a bit of this. So yeah, it'll be a bit of that really. That's kind of what I'm sort of beginning like. Should I give it a bit of the wave of the flag? Because it's not 100% my sort of thing. It's about a good, say, 60-70%. But that being said, it is an enjoyable little number, and therefore I cannot see why it shouldn't qualify. It's a qualifier through and through, absolutely. Ukraine are going to qualify for the final. As far as the actual final itself, I'm going to boldly say top 10 finish. I am absolutely going to boldly say a good solid top 10 finish for Ukraine, because why not? This is definitely one of them sort of numbers that's different, it's quirky, it's out there, It'll be recognisable for all of them because at the end of the day, the lyrics are going do 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 do. It's catchy. It's a catchy little number. While not my personal sort of thing, for me, I don't think it's quite my personal top 10. I can see it definitely be a top 10 overall. And this time we are heading home. That was in the host nation, not actually back to the United Kingdom. But we're heading to the Netherlands. Yes, this is host country for the 2021 Eurovision Song Contest. Obviously, it was supposed to be last year's host as well, but hey, we all know what happened there. But hey, it's thankfully a good thing that last year's entrant, Django McCreary, has been given a second chance, much like many of the other artists, for this year's edition, to basically take part in the Eurovision stage, which is what they're supposed to do, so it's definitely a good thing too. And the song for this year is called Birth of a New Age. And it's very rainy out there, in case you couldn't hear that. So in amongst the raindrops of doom, it seems, out there. Quite heavy by the sounds of things. Eesh. Anyways, Birth of a New Age hopefully will bring sunshine and rainbows compared to the weather out there. But nevertheless, we're carrying on. Yes, Birth of a New Age it's called, and yes, obviously, again, quick disclaimer beforehand, I've heard of it once or twice. Let's just say we're heading to an American church by the sound of things. But that's what I'm going to say, because I want to properly react to this again and give my proper thoughts and reactions to the host nation of this year's Eurovision Song Contest. So let's dive into the Netherlands. But before I begin, I should encourage you all to please subscribe to my channel if you want more of my videos, because it would be fantastically appreciated if you could do. This is a fantastic community, YouTube community, as well as the Eurovision community. It's by and large, you're all fantastic people, so please do subscribe for more of my videos, because not only is it going to be reaction videos, but all things Eurovision leading up to the big event itself come May the 18th, 20th and 22nd. So otherwise, let's go react to Netherlands now, of course. Oh, straight into the beat. Oh, it's a nice double kick there with it all. Yeah, definitely very gospel with the outfit and everything. You can imagine the backing scene has been all like everything. Everything about it is holy. Who said religion was dead? What is that language? Is that like Afrikaans or something? Yep, it's Afrikaans. Of course it is. My apologies. At least I think it's Afrikaans. Please do let me know in the comments. Well, it's certainly different for the Netherlands, that is for sure. Definitely likeable so far. Okay, scratch from me saying American church. This is obviously an African church, isn't it? Hey, yeah, but good old African drumming. Alright. Holding the notes. Keeping with the same rhythm and everything, because it's all like... Yeah, definitely enjoying it so far, I'm not going to lie. Slowly sort of starting to build it up now with like extra vocals and everything. Hey, and a beef. Well, obviously it has to be a short finish, because obviously 3 minutes is the limit. But there are no limits to this one. That's actually a really, really nice, solid, decent, not safe. Actually, I think it's a little bit bold, this one, especially when you get in with the African beat in this one. Especially Django. I assume he comes from an African kind of background. Okay, forgive me for not being fully into like all of the details of each of the artists, but yeah, forgive me for not being fully into the details in regards to this one, but yes, I really do like it. It's hooked me virtually straight away, and in a sense it was like, I thought for a minute with the hook that right at the start of the song it'd be like, okay, is it kind of necessary? But then as it sort of gradually got on, within the first 30 seconds, a minute, it was like, yeah, you got me, alright, that's birth of a new age, baby, you know what I'm saying? The Afrikaan kind of beat, with the bongo drums involved, is a really good sound effect, something that's rarely seen at Eurovision these days. I quite like it. But, historically speaking, it is... anything African related has not been kind to the Eurovision Song Contest. But that being said, it's only happened on a couple of occasions, and one of them occurred from Sweden way back yonder in the late 80s. But this, if I'm honest with you, is a much better modern approach, and a much better, just a great modern approach to bringing Afrikaan music to the masses, and of course a little bit of holiness. Well, it goes a long way, I think. Something that will hook the audiences. I'm not so sure it's going to be good for the jurors. It's definitely not jury friendly. I'm not so sure they're going to go that all hell for leather on it. And it's definitely not going to be 2 in a row as far as the hosts are concerned. I hate to say that, but that being said, they've got the benefit of already being in the final anyway, so they'll get their voices out there anyway. This will bring alertness, that is for sure. It'll get people hooked, but it won't get people too excited. It's a likeable song, but nothing extravagant. Maybe mid-table. I certainly hope mid-table for the sake of the Netherlands and the host nation, because host nations generally over the last decade and a bit, they haven't done too well, post once they've already won. But fingers crossed they get something good out of this one, because I really think they could. This time around I'm going to be reacting to Switzerland, a country which can also produce good chocolates, has got quite a few mountains, and is effectively the birthplace of a thing called the European Union. Don't know if anybody's heard of that before. But I'm not here to talk about anything like that. I'm here to talk about their song for this year's competition, which is called Tutti Univer. I think. Again, if that is incorrect, I apologise. Performed by the artist John's Tears, who of course once again is one of the few artists, / quite many artists, that was scheduled to represent them in 2020. But thankfully he's been given a second chance. And as far as this time is concerned, the fans say this is a favourite to win. Or at the very least one of the favourites. But hey, I'm not going to listen to all of that, whether it's a favourite or not. I'm of course here to react. Well, I'm here to give my reactions to it all, see what it is, and see what all the fuss is about. Of course, quick disclaimer, as always from the start, I've heard of it a few times already, but I'm going to wait to see what I really think of it. I guess without any further ado, might as well go and react to it. But before we do, I would be very thankful to every single one of you who do watch my reaction videos towards the Eurovision Song Contest songs, to please subscribe to my channel, because not only am I reacting to every single one of the entries in this year's competition, I'm also going to be doing further Eurovision related content in a sort of subtext subtitle, I suppose, and that is going to be called Jamie Vision's Inquivision. See what I did there? Yeah? 200 IQ stuff, that is. So yeah, you heard it here first. Jamie Vision's Inquivision is going to be coming right round the corner at some point. But first off, I need to react to Switzerland, so let's get on with it, shall we? But please do subscribe, it would be fantastic. Oh, very slow start. Of course, it's the guy who has got that high-pitched voice on him, which is going to be very unique. Kind of almost beautiful already, what with him and the piano only. But then again, there's bound to be other instruments coming into it at some point. I'm just gonna, I know I'm watching the music video here at the moment, but I'm gonna try and not go into that and just sort of listen to the song. You can almost imagine him sort of doing the Netherlands 2019 all over again. It really is getting me really captivated already, and almost relaxing. Almost gets me into a moment of like waving the old torch with the phone kind of thing. Going by the music video just for a few moments, I don't know why he's all of a sudden going through like a multi-universe of him driving on an alpine road along with numerous stars. I knew there was going to be other instruments coming in, but this is definitely more boom, and more power, and a lot more going on compared to his entry last year already. I found it quite clever just then with the music video. Forgive me for just coming a few times, because this is actually really lovely. I tell you what, going by the music video just quickly again, he rescued himself. Okay, I must admit, it is quite artistically lovely, isn't it? There's no other words to describe it. It is weirdly poetically powerful. The slowness of it all to then all of a sudden building up. I mean, again, it's those sort of those type of ballads beforehand where we are kind of used to it, but this time they've captured it and have structured it in such a way that really does really hit you, and it hits me big time. It's getting me, yeah, really to the heart almost, and I can totally understand why people would deem this as one of the favourites to win the whole kit and caboodle. I totally get it. But that all of it being said, as much as it does get me, for for me, there's nothing still standing out. Nothing gave me a goosebump feeling. And I genuinely do mean that. It didn't absolutely give me goosebumps. Normally with a type of song that is going to get you, you feels almost like a winner. It's almost a goosebump kind of moment that will hit you if you know that it's going to be a winning type song. As much as I can understand it's a favourite because it is very moving and I get it, it didn't move me as much as I was probably hoping it would. Maybe again I was going to hope it would and almost expecting it to move me in such a way. And as much as I was captivated by it, it just didn't blow my mind completely. And it's almost reminiscent, really, of, as I say, the Netherlands 2019. But that being said, this is in French and a little bit more boof like what it was beforehand. So maybe that could work in its favour. But again, I'm going to go on the premise that, well, look, what I have learnt over many, many years in the Eurovision Song Contest, a country that enters a song that is pretty much Control-C, Control-V to that of a previous year's winning song, it never works. Nobody will ever go for a repeated formula that they have heard of last year. And I have a feeling that it's going to be the case of this, because it is such Dutch 2019, is such the 2019 winning song all over. Yes, I get we've had a break in proceedings, but for me, I just think people are going to remember 2019 more because at the end of the day, we didn't have 2020. So yeah, I just get the feeling it's not going to be as astounding as what people are making it out to be as far as the book is concerned. But that being said, I do get it. I understand it. And you know what? I am going to give him the old wavy of the flag on the night. I'm going to support it. I'm going to try and learn the French lyrics and maybe the English translation. But we'll see how it comes about on that one. And now we're coming to the country which, aside from the United Kingdom, also gets a little bit of hype every year due to their very famous national final selection, and that is Sweden. Aside from Ireland, they are arguably one of the most successful and, if anything, greatly successful current countries in the Eurovision Song Contest, despite the fact that they've won it 6 times overall, the second most in Eurovision history. Recently, they have been consistently up there, consistently brilliant, and consistently make great songs. But is this year going to be any better? Well, let's find out as we listen to their song Voices by Tusse, which of course won the national selection of Melodifestivalen. But as always, before the start, a quick disclaimer, the fact that I've heard it a few times already, but once again, I'm here to react to it again, just to make sure, you know, I fine-tooth combed it. That makes sense. But before I start reacting to it, it would be fantastic if you could please subscribe to my Eurovision YouTube channel, where of course I'm going to be creating all sorts of Eurovision related content, not just reacting to this year's entries. And that's my phone giving a little buzz there, apologies about that. But nevertheless, let's go and react to Sweden, and of course click that like button if you happen to agree with my opinions or not. That makes no sense. Let's go. Of course, this is the national final performance. Interesting outfit already. Ooh. Oh, straight into the beat is interesting. He's got an interesting outfit, that's for sure. Already very powerful in the fact he's got feminine-like attributes towards him. Hey, big lighting already there. A million voices. Oh yeah, of course. The shades of Russia 2015, is it not? Oh, was that backing vocalist there? It's not really giving me a bit of a... Well, yeah, okay, let's go then. Even with the key change, I don't know, it just hasn't clicked for me. I'm sorry. I do like the lighting though. With this one, I think... Let me get my little headband off actually. If I'm honest with you, especially when the fact that I did watch Melodifestivalen, I'm not going to lie, I did watch it. I think they could have come in with something better. I honestly think that this was not their entry. I can understand it as to why they want this to be their entry. Sweden, and indeed it was the pick of the international juries, no doubt about it. But I don't know. For me, this screams as if it's trying too much to portray a message more than it is of an actual song, if you know what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong, the message itself is very powerful. and will of course resonate across the world, never mind in Europe. And I mean, it's a message we already seem to be familiar with over the past year. But I don't know. It's like it's just simply trying too hard on this one, and as a result, it lost its way with the actual music. It just didn't fully represent what the music was all about. It got its message across in terms of the lyrics, but that's about it. And I'm sorry, but I don't think this is going to actually do that well. I honestly fear that, personally, that this isn't going to be as good as what Sweden are hoping it would be. I think it's a qualifier, but I don't think it's going to do that well on the night itself if it gets to the final, assuming it does, that is. And we're coming back to the Big Five for this particular one. It's been a while since I've done a Big Five country, that's for sure. And we're heading, of course, to the land of the castanets, that is España, Spain. And again, it's another case of the 2020 artist coming back for 2021, thank goodness, in the form of Blas Canto with his song Voy a Quedarme. Again, apologies if that's wrong. But before I do that, please do click that subscribe button, because not only am I going to be reacting to every single entry in This Is Eurovision, but also I'm going to be tackling all things Eurovision in regards to my Inquisition series, which the first episode in regards to the Big Five is coming out this Saturday evening. So stand by and stay tuned for that. But without any further ado, let's get on with Spain, shall we? A real piano start. This is going to be a somber one, of course. And of course, quick disclaimer as always, yes, I've heard of this a few times, but if I'm honest with you, I've kind of forgotten this one. It's been a while since I've heard of it. Ole, viva España. Definitely passionate so far. The all high pitch going there. I guess it's the old pre-chorus, and then... It's got pitches going there, whereby it suits his style. Ooh, that was a bit of a... Just the... I'm not so sure that goes well. That sort of bit going into the next verse. I'm not so sure that suits the song, if I'm honest. Good vocal, so you can tell it's like a proper recorded vocal. No like changes in, pitch or anything like that from a software. Oh, there was drums coming for the verse and then sort of like quietened a bit for the pre-chorus. The music video is not exactly riveting, is it? Apart from him embracing, I guess, Mrs. Brown. Mind you, the song itself isn't exactly riveting so far. Not in my opinion, anyway. Okay, it was either going to go to a key change or him just, belting out his voice, which is understandable. But God, is it trying too hard. To me, it's not really going anywhere. I'm sorry. Just his vocals at the end. Okay, España. Oh, you do know how to be mixed in Eurovision, that's for sure. This, of course, as we know, is Blas's style of music. He's a ballad artist and, likes to do slow songs and stuff like that. And I'm guessing this has some sort of meaning in regards to maybe a mother or some sort of elderly relative or something. Please do let me know in the comments on what that's all about. But as far as the actual package overall is concerned, it made me want to go to sleep after a minute. Spain do have a habit of trying too hard in regards to Eurovision songs, thinking that their style that people will in fact love. But in fact, in reality, most of Europe don't actually like Spain's style of music. And this has been proved time and time again when they send a sort of, Evande kind of, proper Spain-like manners in regards to their culture in towards their songs in Eurovision, and more often than not, everyone's just not really taking it in. There are one or two examples not associated with that, like Spain can come out with some good Eurovision entries, like the 1991, which of course the one from 1990, let's not get confused, where they famously performed first and somehow the backing track went a little bit askew, if you remember that one. But in terms of recent Eurovision history, Spain, they just tend to miss the mark every year, and this is another one of them. I mean, last year's was going to miss the mark, if I'm not perfectly honest with you anyway, but I'm afraid this is another one of them. Sorry, Spain, but I think you're going to end up at the bottom half of the board this year. I'm sorry to say this, it's just a song which is trying simply too hard, and for me it just you would hear it once but you wouldn't necessarily hear it again. And next up is the country that brings the love in Slovenia. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. And the song is called Amen by Anna, apologies for mispronunciation, Sochik. I'm Hold on a minute. Anna Soklic? Again, apologies if that's wrong. To be honest with you, once again, this is a song which obviously I've listened to once, but I must have forgotten about it because, you know, yeah, again, it bodes well. But never mind about what I initially did. I'm going to give it another proper reaction this time. I mean, effectively, you could say I'm listening to this for the first time because I've completely forgotten what it goes like. I think it's a ballad, but anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's go and react to Slovenia. I can't do that. But oh, there we go. A bit better. All very red already. Complete white outfit though. Like her voice already though. Very unique in that sense. I like the intro so far where it's like pure piano. If they go for anything else, I think that'll just ruin it if I'm honest with you. Confidence. Very amen. Oh. Flashy flashy. Okay, so it's power ballad. Okay, I remember that. You could be forgiven if thinking it's actually called Hallelujah rather than Amen, couldn't you? It's very holy so far. Everything's in white. I've noticed. It was like a red background to begin with, red lighting, sort of like devilish, and then all of a sudden turn into holiness. I can't say I dislike it. Well, they've overdone it, if I'm honest with you, at the end. The old soft spotlight. Nice staring effect there at the end. Okay, cool. That is literally the end of that. Doesn't go on any more than that. Okay, so look, I liked it to begin with. Definitely, it was like do do do. Mind you, would expect, if I'm honest with you, with a song of that kind of caliber, within the first minute to like have a big finish. You would expect that. It is cliche. It's been done before, and they're trying to obviously get people hooked throughout the song. That is what obviously you need in a Eurovision entry. Something that's going to be instant at the start and something that's going to be catchy towards it, throughout it, and right at the end as well. So I'm not surprised they went big at the end. But I think they've overdone it a bit. I think just a tiny little bit overdone. I think with the camera effects, where like, it was very hard to explain, but so when you saw the girl's face, there was like this sort of circle around her of like fadeness. It was like it's like a fadeness effect. Not so sure that was necessary. I would have just kept it as it is, if I'm honest with you. I get why they did it, but anyway, not so sure of the fire. Probably just get rid of that. Maybe just go for some, I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't as keen on the fire. That's just me. I wasn't so keen on the fire. I don't know what they can go for though, in regards to that. Anyways, about the rest of it, I love her voice. Something a bit different. That was very cool. As I say, I like the song first, I say 2 minutes, but when it went all poof like that, I get it, and I get people will like that sort of thing. I'm not suggesting for a minute you shouldn't. That's perfectly entitled for you to do that. Yeah, it just went a little bit OTT for me. It just went a little bit too much. They started out nice and simple, like kind of Lucy Jones kind of thing with the from 2017 UK, with simple piano and vocals. I love that sort of thing. If they could just keep a song like that throughout it, I think it will work much better rather than just bring some extra instruments like an orchestra or something, go boo doo doo. If I'm honest with you, I'd rather just keep it as a piano because that's hardly ever been done before. That's just my opinion. Anyway, I think it will, as far as qualifying is concerned. Okay, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence with that one. I really am on the fence. I don't know. I want to like it. I do want to like it, but yeah, it's just that ending just kind of ruined it for me. I don't know why, but it did. Maybe I will like it further on. Maybe it's one of them sort of songs that it will grow on me. Do you know what I'm saying? I reckon a short fire grow. When you get used to that sort of thing, you're like, light the candles in the audience, etc. Well, torches on phones is what it is these days, isn't it? And we are heading back east now as we head to a bit of an historical country in regards to the Eurovision Song Contest. You will see why in a minute. As we turn to turn to the country of Serbia. And I say historical because they are the only country in history to effectively win on their debut outing. And that was back, of course, in 2007, though they were originally part of Serbia and Montenegro, so yeah, make that what you will. And again, it's another one of the countries in which they have an artist that should have scheduled to take part last year, but are taking part this year, second time around, and that is, of course, the trio, a female band / group called Hurricane, or whatever they're supposed to be pronounced. This time they are going loco loco with their song this year, because that's the title of the song. And this one is, I'm going to sound like a broken record, because obviously, quick disclaimer from the start, I've heard it once or twice. I mean, if I have to spell it out for you. But before we react to Serbia, it'd be fantastic if you could subscribe to my channel. It would be, amazing, because at the end of the day, it's a fantastic community, and I wanted to get to know every single one of you even better. And I want to do that by simply asking you just to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. Oh yeah, instant impact already. Bubbles, disco, whatever. I mean, if this doesn't scream those 6 letters, I don't know what it does. In the old cliche words, sorry, they are literally going to slay it, aren't they? You could just tell the choreography is going to be big. They're going to be full of extravagant clothing already. They're going to work it out and all the rest of it. To be fair, at least I give them credit in the fact that they are keeping to their native language of Serbia. So there you go. Not going to lie, I'm kind of a little bit hypnotised by, I guess their beauty, because they do themselves up well. Not going to lie. But it has to be said already that their song this year, God, is it the same as their previous attempt? Not that I'm getting tired or anything like that, but I'm just saying it is the same, okay? Okay, a little bit of a break there. There's a lot of flashiness involved, I've just noticed. Ooh, key change. Wasn't expecting that. Not that I remember from the previous times I've heard of it. Okay, and they held the note at the end there. Okay, righty then. Ugh, Serbia, well, you certainly know on how you're going to start a party, that is for sure. You're going to get everybody loco all around Europe, that is for sure. Certainly in the eastern part, that is for indeed. This is definitely a party banger, and I'm not going to deny the fact that, you know what, I think it could do well on the night. As long as they get the choreography right, which I'm no doubt they'll be giving all the thing and the hips and the they'll definitely get it right. They will slay it, as as everybody would say. I think the vocals will, well, I suppose they'll probably get some backing vocals to help them out. I'm not suggesting they're bad vocalists or anything. I'm sure they are great vocalists, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had the extra bit of help with some backing vocals. That's all I will say. But if they don't, they'll definitely get some help from some backing dancers. That is for sure, to get everything loco loco. I can just imagine the 3 extra male backing dancers to I guess balance out the fact that there are 3 girls singing and dancing at the same time. Is it a qualifier though? That is the main question. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. If anything, they were kind of sort of scheduled to qualify last year. But obviously, can't help what happened last year, can you? Otherwise, it is typical of what Hurricane can do. They're certainly creating a hurricane of partying, that is for sure. It's going to be literally a loco party. You can just imagine it. It'll be, I reckon, I can give it a good wave of a flag. I can't see why not. Boom, be-do-be-do-be-do, at the nightclub, in the hood. Anyways, that's all really I can add to it. It's just a nice little party track. I guess you could say it's not a whirlwind winner or anything like that, but you know what? It will definitely get people partying on the night. That is for sure. I can't see why it shouldn't. And we're back to another small country this time. And this particular one happens to be a neighbour of a very proud country of Italy. But I'm not quite doing that yet. I am, of course, reacting to San Marino. One of those countries which, well, seems to be making a habit of not only sending in the same artist, which again is another one of them artists that should have scheduled for 2020, but instead obviously has to settle for 2021, which obviously is fantastic. So she's back, and there's of course Senhit, I believe it pronounces right, or Senhit is her name. I believe it's pronounced. But in any case, that she's of course back for San Marino. But yeah, they seem to make a habit of bringing back returning artists on a regular basis. The song this year though is called Adrenalina, which kind of sounds like Thumbelina, but I guess it's to do with adrenaline. And again, obviously, quick disclaimer from the start. I've heard of it a few times already. Well, people raved it apparently, but then again, I've got to react to it once again just to see if I properly do like it or not. God, this job's hard sometimes, I guess. But before I do, of course, please would like you to subscribe to my Eurovision YouTube related channel, where I will be not only reacting to every single one of the entries in this year's Eurovision Song Contest, but also I will be creating a new mini-series called Inquivision, which will be divulging in all sorts of things Eurovision related, any sort of topics related to it, and there will be a video coming out soon, I promise you that, don't worry about it. And of course, if you do like this video, then click the little like button below. Otherwise, we might as well just get on with it, shall we? San Marino! And we're already in Australia for the opening number of this one, or the opening part of the music video anyway. This is very wacky already. Good beat already. Well, of course it has include one of those. Oh, already there's a lot of cliches in this one. You're my Adrenalina, okay, alright. So it's literally like you're my Thumbelina kind of thing. Of course, the no lyric chorus where you just drop the beat. I tell you what, there's a lot of entries that are similar to this year. Already I can see this being lost in the crowd, if I'm honest with you. I'm sorry. I guess it's trying to be very different with its music, with this persona already coming across in the music video, and I assume this is going to be very different in terms of its performance on the night. But already I can tell this is just like one of those songs that is going to be put into the same kind of genre of crowd, and maybe the public might lose. I don't know. She looks good though. I'm not denying that, saying it's, well, as good as she can be, I suppose. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about Flow Rider. I guess it could bring it out with the fact there's some extra rap involved, but I don't know, we'll see. Because I know there's a lot of people that go for stuff like that. Okay, drop the beats up, pause it a little bit there, alright. This already sets it apart now, come to think of it, okay. Otherwise the rest of it's coming back to the same sort of normality, but with its unique craziness. Alright. So yeah, this is definitely something which is part of the same generic pop-tastic modern-based crowd, but sticks something in different compared to the rest of the entries in this year's Eurovision Song Contest by sticking in a very, very, very famous rap artist in it. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of rap, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Mind you, try saying that about the UK's 2006 Eurovision entry. But rap, if done right, can come across really well. And more often than not these days, there is quite a lot of rap involved, and a lot of modern-based pop songs, which well, I say modern-based pop songs, modern-based R&B songs is what I'm saying, which as a result kind of, overcrowds it as a result. But basically what I'm trying to say is, with this mixture of rap put into this particular song, I think it works. I think we've only seen one particular app before that has stuck like a normal generic pop song with a good dance anthem with rap involved, and I think it was Greece in 2014. Can't remember what the song was called, but I remember really enjoying that one. I think they should have done a lot better. So yeah, if done right, it can come across very well. And actually, Flow Rider himself doesn't feature very heavily in this one compared to the Greece entry. He only features in like the sort of in-between part of the song, and there's no like specific bridge or anything like that. I guess you could call that a rap bridge, but otherwise, he comes in it when necessary, and for me, that makes it a half-decent song. But at the same time, when you talk about having mentioned Flow Rider in the song and not necessarily sing it, or indeed any other part of the song, that could lose its footing, I think. It's like the only part of the song they'll talk about is the rap part and not anything else, which, if I'm honest with you, could be its disadvantage. I can't see why this shouldn't qualify from the semi-finals, but at the same time, it could go against it. Because rap's never been kind to Eurovision, or more to the point, Eurovision's never been kind to rap before, is all I'm saying. It has hardly ever worked, and I think the best result rap in itself has kind of ever done, again, we're going back to the United Kingdom, but not 2006, 1995. If I remember writing with Love City Groove on that one. So yeah, rap is... it's a here and there subject. I don't know. Well, I don't know how to predict this one. I suspect it will qualify, but don't be surprised if it doesn't. That being said, it's not my personal favourite, other than it's a nice catchy beat, but it's just the same sort of generic beat amongst the rest of the crowd. I think it's getting a little bit overhyped. And the next country that I'm going to be reacting to is the glory land that is Mother Russia. The song for Russia this year is called, kind of ironically, Russian Woman by Maniza? So again, apologies if that's wrong. But of course, before I react to that, it would be fantastic if you could please subscribe to my little channel, because not only am I reacting to every single entry in this year's Eurovision Song Contest, but also I've got the first episode out of Eurovision Inquisition, or Jamie Vision's Inquisition even, which I talk about the Big Five, and of course another episode of that will be coming out next Saturday at around about the same time I released the last one, which I think was around about 5 PM. So anyways. Plus I do a bit of gaming as well. I'm a bit of a gamer. Lately I've been variety in games. So yeah, at some point I feel like doing a little gaming live stream. For those of you gaming fans out there who want to check me out, that would be absolutely fantastic if you could. But anyways, never mind about my personal stuff. Let's get on with reacting to Russia, shall we? And of course, quick disclaimer: I've heard it once or twice. I think only twice so far, and it's been a little while since I have. So let's just see how the brain works. Of course, it's the national final performance, and already a typical beat. What the hell does she look like? I mean, typically Eurovision style, of course. Motherland pride of whatever the hell this is. Oh, well, yeah, shaking everything and everything. Typical of Russian women, I guess. That outfit she's wearing, honestly. There's an interesting concept of the backing vocalist in a sort of square-like thing going on. Yes, I've heard a few stories about what this is about, so yeah. Hey, it's power to Mother Russia here moment. Power to the whatever she's powering about. No, I don't know what she's about. Power to Russian woman. This is not quite kicking for me at the moment, despite the good connotations. A lot of fireballs going on at the moment with this one. I mean, at least you can call this a song so far, is all I will say. Well, it's certainly keeping me captivated, that's for sure. Though, as far as the wackiness is concerned, I feel this is just a little too wacky for anybody's tastes. Hey, okay, that's it. Fair enough. Okay, this is a bonkers one, don't get me wrong. This is definitely very, very bonkers, but I don't know. This is almost too bonkers for my own little personal taste, if I'm perfectly honest with you. There's definitely a beat there. So boom, boom, ba, boo, ba, doo, da, ba, 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 ba. The structure is there. I guess you could say the choreography is there. Her vocals are definitely there. Oh, Russia, why did you have to send this? I mean, you have a lot going for you right now. You had Sergei Lazarev finishing 2 lots of third places. You had a fantastic entry for 2020, which was scheduled to, for you guys, which easy would, I think, have been a top 3 spot. And then you go and do this. Sorry, Russia, I just don't think you're cutting it this year. I'm really, really sorry about that. But I think the majority of fans are in agreement with me when it comes to this one. As much as the sentiment behind it of you know, power to Russian women in that sort of style, I get it, we all get it, great, fantastic, good for you, especially giving Russia a sort of different outlook to people, shall we say. But at the end of the day, as far as the actual song itself is concerned, I think you could have come up with something just a little bit better than that in terms of the overall platform of it. Sorry, but Russia, I don't think are qualifying this year. That's just my opinion, but This time it is the turn of Romania, and this year they've sent in the performer Roxanne with the song Amnesia. Now, Roxanne again was one of the contestants that was scheduled to take part in 2020, but thankfully has been given a lovely little second chance. Now, to put it mildly, Roxanne's music is a little bit perplexing, so Amnesia will be interesting, but of course, as always, quick disclaimer from the start, I might have heard of it once or twice, but again, it's one of them forgetful ones as far as I'm concerned. So with this one, I am literally just going to be reacting to it, in a sense, for the first time ever. So yeah, here we go. Let's listen to Romania. Music video for this one, obviously, and yeah, weird already with the blue hair, sort of Billie Eilish kind of look. I like the beat in the background. So yeah, very ominous kind of music already. Silent and then picks up. Okay, this is different, slightly different in terms of beat. Catches you instantly with that boom, 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 pow. Definitely Billie Eilish Mark II as far as this is concerned. Except the fact it's not really Billie Eilish, more to the look that it is. I don't know what's going on as far as the music video is concerned, but then again, why am I again looking at it? Weirdly powerful, I must admit, I'm not disliking it whatsoever. It's weirdly kind of crawling into the likeness category. I guess it's certainly trying to be different, I can't fault it. Alright, the different tempo again, different pitch. Different pitch, that's what I meant. All very quiet bridge. All picked up a little bit with like the backing vocals. I can definitely understand the lyrics of this one. It's weirdly getting quite powerful. I must admit I'm quite powered by this one. Yeah, I could weirdly find this catchy. Da 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 da. I'm not alone. Okay, alright, okay. So, you know what? This is weirdly kind of likeable. I'm not gonna lie, this is definitely decent. Weirdly it has sort of ticked me a little bit. It's the different type of the pitch that it's sort of going to, and the different type of beat, which is, let's face it, it is going to be different as far as the majority of the entries is concerned this year, because I'm sure you've seen with its cliche beat, it's like boom boom ka boom, oh it's boom boom ka boom ka boom pa boom ka pa boom kind of thing. But this is going for a 16th beat. It feels slower, but it actually isn't. The beats per minute, I would say, is about boom 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 boom. It's about like 112, 113 kind of thing. But it feels slower than it does, and therefore it sort of really does hook you in. As far as the melody is concerned, I really like it. I do like it. It's the hook is there. Definitely the hook is there. She comes across like mysterious, sort of hypnotically kind of powerful. And I'm repeating myself with the powerful notion, but you get the idea. It just gets you in a hypnosis kind of state, as if to say, like, you're going into her world, you're going into the amnesia kind of world. And at the end of the day, the song is about like forgetting things and forgetting, I think, lost love or something like that. And yeah, it does kind of really grab you. But that being said, it's not an absolute, like, you know, it doesn't fully hook me or anything like that. I can't see why it shouldn't qualify. I honestly can't, but it does now depend on the performance, because they've done it fine with the music video. That's perfectly fine. We'll see how it pans out with the performance. I don't fault for a second that choreographically they're going to get it right, but then again, we don't know. It's a long time to come. I think actually, by comparison of the music video itself, if we are going to sort of briefly bring it in here, because there's no doubt going to be some elements of the music video being brought into the performance. They're definitely going to have the backing dancers. There's like second to none choice of that one. But obviously there is a limit. There will be backing vocalists as well. So I suspect maybe like 2 or 3 backing dancers will probably pop into the actual performance. Whatever she's going to wear, I don't know. But weirdly, it's good. I'd say it's good. It's not great. I don't think, for me, it'll be a top 10 kind of song. It's one of those that's going to be like a quiet... well, it's kind of quiet in itself if you think about it, but it will be one of them quiet entries. I don't see it being flying up the table, but At the same time, I can't see why I shouldn't qualify. And this time, we're heading to the country which in 2017, quite literally brought us to tears. But pretty much before that, and ever since then, their record in Eurovision hasn't been great. But nevertheless, they're back to give it another stab. It's Portugal, the country that literally borders Spain, but it isn't quite as friendly to Spain as what Andorra is. The song this year they're performing is called Love Is On My Side, performed by the band The Black Mamba. And again, quick disclaimer as always before the start, I have heard it a few times, but I'm going to give another reaction to it because, well, you know, you've got to make sure that you properly know how it sounds according to you and how it makes you feel, and the way you think is going to come across in the world of Eurovision, because that's what I'm here for. But before we react to it, of course, please do. It would be fantastic if you could subscribe to my channel, because not only am I going to be reacting to all of this year's Eurovision Song Contest entries, but I'm going to be doing all sorts of topics in regards to Eurovision. And if you like this video, then click that little like button on the bottom left as well. It'll be absolutely fantastic. In any case, let's get on with reacting to Portugal, shall we? Whoa, we've time travelled back to the 1930s already with this one. Is it just me, or does he sound like a woman? Just saying. You'd be forgiven in thinking that that sounds like a woman, all things considered, if you didn't look at him. Nothing wrong with that, I'm just saying. Been a very slow start here, in a good way. Oh, the old guitar kicking, do-do-do-do-do. I like the camera effects as well, that makes you think you're in the 1930s. I think we're slowly going into colour transition now. Good vocals though. Oh come on, how come the drummer's not doing so much? Oh, thought that guitar there was just a prop. A little bit of a big finish now, because obviously you can only finish on 3 minutes. Like I said, I thought that guitar was a prop, and actually after seeing him playing it, I think it is. Okay. And that's all I really think it is. It's just a nice little gentle song that, if I'm honest with you, it would be good for, like, say, like if you want to try and go to sleep at night. Not in a bad way, I'm just saying. Yeah, it was like, it was trying to be almost too gentle for my liking. It was like, I don't know, I think it's okay. I don't think, yeah. No, I'm sorry, it's just nothing special from Portugal, not like the levels of 2017. And also the 5 simple worded chorus just repeating it. That for me, and that never goes well. I get it's obviously a typical sort of like love song, and obviously it's supposed to be on my side, but maybe I've lost it on this occasion kind of thing, but yeah, like I just really fear Portugal ain't going to qualify with this one, because given their recent history, well, not recent history, their entire history in the Eurovision Song Contest, aside from 1 year where they won it, they just haven't been that prolific in terms of even doing well in Eurovision. And I fear that this song is going to continue it, and I'm really sorry to any Portuguese fans out there. P.S. I absolutely really did like the 2017 one. I don't know why that would come into any sort of play, but maybe I'm trying to be as polite as I can without sounding too critical to Portugal, but I just don't think it's going to get anywhere, and I really am so sorry about that. But that's what I can really say to it. It's a nice gentle song, but it was trying to elevate somewhere, especially in the last part of the chorus, where it's with all and everything together, do. It just didn't really go anywhere, did it? But today I'm reacting to the rather beautiful country of Poland, where they have practically quite a lot of people in all sorts of different European countries, and I should know that because I've met a few Polands in my time, and they are all very lovely people, that is for sure. But will their song be equally as lovely? Well, let's find out as we will react to their song, The Ride by Rafale. Or Rafale. Or Rafale. But before I do, I would please like you to subscribe to my channel, because not only am I going to be reacting to every single one of the entries in the competition for the 2021 contest, I will also be talking about all sorts of different topics related to the Eurovision Song Contest in my Inquisition series, and be sure to stay tuned for that. And of course, please do like this video if you, of course, like my reaction, which would be even better. And without any further ado, let's go react to Poland. It's got shades of the UK in this with the car. What's with the bouncers? Okay, interesting beat. They're trying to make the verse, I guess, a bit longer on this occasion. Yeah, they're trying to kick in with the verse already, considering they've only got 3 minutes. Nice to see Kimi Räikkönen doing a Eurovision entry. Oh, I'm sorry. I recognise this already in terms of the beat. I should have, of course, mentioned about my disclaimer in the start, but there you go. It's good beat so far, but remnants of it are like stuff you've heard before. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Please do let me know in the comments. It's kind of lost me already after about a minute. That's not a good sign, if I'm honest. I'm just trying to imagine what it would be like in terms of their actual performance. I would imagine they'll have like a few male and female dancers as well. Obviously, you know, they have a maximum of 6 on stage. Okay, I'm kind of humming to it, which is not a bad thing. It's actually quite a good thing. Okay, a very short bridge just then. It's keeping me interested, I'm not going to lie, but at the same time, it's just like... You wouldn't get that many people out, you know, during COVID times, that's for sure, so they must have had some special permission. Okay. Oh, Poland, you could have done so much better. At the end of the day, this is, as I mentioned, nothing too special. It's stuff you would have heard before, especially the structure of it, the beat of it, the way the notes come in. Oh, Poland, you really could have done quite good alright this year, because you have done, you know, relatively good history. Yeah, I really have not got much else to add other than what I mentioned in the reaction itself. Because, quite frankly, this song is one of those songs where it could just easily lose its way. And if anything, it kept to the sort of same structure throughout the verse and the chorus. It's like it didn't really go anywhere. It started off at a level and kind of stayed the same throughout it. And because it was so stale in terms of its, you know, in terms of its line of where it was going, it inadvertently went, as far as I'm concerned. So, sorry Poland, that's just how I feel. It's a beautiful country, but the song this year, I think I just want to completely forget about it. Good morning, afternoon, or even everybody. I am Jamie Vision, and welcome back to a brand new video where today I am now reacting to the entry of Norway. And this is, of course, a little bit of a touchy one as far as quite a number of Eurovision fans are concerned, and yes, I have been following all of that. So in case you're not that aware of, I guess you could call it controversy, I'm personally not that sure myself, but anyway, there was a lot of hype surrounding one particular entry in regards to its national final, and that was being Kino, who were once again trying to represent Norway with the song Monument. And well, it has to be said, look, I did listen to this song, don't get me wrong, but I am not reacting to it today properly, you know what I'm saying. I'm not listening to it or anything, but I have listened to it many times, especially when watching Melody Grand Prix as well. And yeah, I wouldn't have minded it as a Eurovision entry for Norway, but come on, it's seriously not as good as Spirit in the Sky. It really is not as good. It is the same generic formula that they had. They tried to brush themselves up a little bit in terms of the outfits that they wore and in terms of the way they were performing, and obviously they did the high notes with the girl as well. I forget her name. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to Kino for forgetting names, but I just didn't think it would have been right as a Eurovision entry to try for it to go again. I think if it did, then it would have just been sort of virtually the same kind of thing. That's my opinion on it. I know there was a lot of people that were really hyping up for it. There was so much hype, and yet it got pipped to the post by one song, because it effectively came down to the final 2 on the night, and this was the song that I'm reacting to Norway. And yes, quick disclaimer at the start, as always, I've listened to it a few times already, but I'm going to give it another listen to properly, go over all the nooks and crannies. And more to the point, that song is Fallen Angel by Tix. And as far as the geezer himself is concerned, which is right there, he's interesting. He's a very nice lad. I've seen like 1 or 2 interviews with him. He seems like a really charming lad. And fingers crossed for him, because let's listen to it once again, and then I can give you my proper opinions afterwards. Okay, so here we go. It's just an instant impact. It really is. The angel wings, the jewelry, the dice, the chains, the black demon things. Was that shoe on the right? Of course it was. Oh yeah, they split the screen, didn't they? That ain't gonna work on the thing. There's a better angel wings compared to Croatia a couple of years ago, I'm not gonna lie. Do you know what? As much as it feels like it could be generic in terms of its cliche lyrics by it already, I don't know, it just feels like more powerful than what I've ever heard. I can't tell if he's singing live or not. I guess he is. He probably will come on the night. I don't know how that's gonna pan out. Oh, fire! Give me fire! Seriously, does he have to have that headband on him? It just, come on. I like the circle motion and the lightning in the middle of the floor. You can't take your eyes off it though, I'm not gonna lie. You really can't. It almost gives you a smile on your face, I don't know why that is. Key change. The bridge, by the way, was kind of generic. It didn't really go anywhere, did it? It wasn't given massive variety or anything. He held the note well. Give him credit where credit's due. Heaven to you. Hey, well, you know what? Credit where credit's due to Norway. I think, personally, they're onto something good there. And I am not gonna lie on that one. It does give you a smile on your face. It does take your breath away. Weirdly, it does. I don't know why. The song is so cliche in terms of its lyrics. I mean, come on. Lost love and all the rest of it. It's been and done before, but the way it's structured and how it comes across in the sound, it gives you like whoosh. It does feel quite powerful and weirdly good. And also considering him as a character and as a brand, which I'm afraid what it is these days in terms of any individual artist or band or whatever, they are a brand, okay? We're going to have to deal with that, but they are a brand. He's actually a weirdly good brand. It's like, there's so much bad about him, it just works. Do you know what I'm saying? He will come across, I think, really well with the televoters. And I really do believe that. Because at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, I know there's a lot of fans out there that wanted Kinu to get the gig for Norway. But this, I think, is better. And more deserving of the spot for Norway. Now, whether it's going to do well or not, I don't know. I think the jurors, they'll be torn with this one. I think they'll be torn. I think the televoters are going to be the key with this one. And don't forget, the majority of people that do watch it aren't necessarily Eurovision fans. I'll probably just see this, on the night. They won't necessarily follow Eurovision as like a, something to see on Instagram, Facebook, all the socials or whatever. And literally they'll be like, whoa, okay, this is taking me aback. And I think they'll get really hooked. Weirdly, I think they will. So yeah, I think this could do well for Norway. And today we turn our attention to a country which originally had one of the longest names that was quite difficult to retranslate into French, though I still maintain that to this day. L'ex-République Yougoslav de Macedon. That is sad of me to know, but they're actually now known as North Macedonia. Don't know why they're known as North Macedonia. Why not just call themselves Macedonia? There's no South Macedonia now, is there? I mean, please do let me know in the comments in regards to that one, because I'm a little bit confused. But in any case, we are reacting to their song for the 2021 Eurovision Song Contest called Here I Stand, performed by Vasil, who was originally Bulgarian, which is interesting. And yes, I will touch upon that in another video. But yeah, there's a bit of a drama thing going on in regards to Vasil from North Macedonia, but and again, I'll go into that all in detail in another video, which will be part of my Eurovision series, which of course I will be making in due course. And if you want to see a little mini series as well as all of my reactions, and or indeed any further content that's going to be coming from me in regards to the Eurovision Song Contest, then please do subscribe to my channel, which would be absolutely fantastic of you to do. And of course, if you like this particular video, then click that little like button on this page. But without any further ado, we might as well go and react to North Macedonia's Here I Stand, which will be, well, I mean, I'm sitting. That doesn't make any sense. Let's just go. Oh, the old piano with the soul vocal intro again already. He's very pristine, isn't he, old Vasil? Very pristine. Probably uses a lot of moisturiser. And also the massive orchestra. Why are they showing it in the music video? It does sound like he did record this with au natural vocals. I can't detect any changes in pitch or anything from like machines or anything like that, or software. The old slow build up. We're getting there. You know, that's good of the orchestra to wear masks. They're all quite powerful so far, and all of its power ballad gloriness. You can tell that this is going to be very light effects come actual on the night, can't you? You can tell there's going to be some sort of great lighting all around. He's obviously quite passionate about this one. I wouldn't be surprised if he cries a few times. I love that we're going all quietness, and I bet you there's going to be a big finish at the end. Though I kind of wish it wouldn't, if I'm honest. Hey, there's a big finish. Oh, for you. Oh, you can imagine the power in amongst that. Okay, North Macedonia, you have my fullest attention. That was screaming pure power ballad, and I can just imagine the euphoria feeling and euphoric feeling not only he is going to get right at the end of it, but also what many of the audience are going to get right at the end of it. It's going to be like, oh my god, jingle bell! There's going to be just a massive pandemonium right at the end when the big finish comes. You can just imagine it. I reckon this is going to be one of them songs which will, I think it will be a good capture, but at the same time, again, it's not one of them standout songs. If I'm honest with you, I can definitely picture this much better come actually on the night compared to the music video. The music video didn't really stand out his vocals on this occasion, but when it comes to actually performing on its semi-final night, they will emphasise the vocals big time, assuming he will, you know, belt it out like anything. He will absolutely slay it, and I know he will. The lighting's going to be powerful. The background's going to make it more powerful. Flags are going to be waving all the time. I could just imagine that it's going to be so much better live than it is what you see in the music video there, because the music video didn't really do it, or more to the point, the recording of it didn't really capture it much for me. But I'm just picturing it going to be much more powerful. And this time around, we turn to Lithuania, and it has to be said, a grand spanking return to the Roop with their new song, Discotheque. And appropriately, in terms of their clothing, which are, again, quick disclaimer as always on the start, I've heard of them a few times, but I'm going to listen to it again just to give it a proper, like, absolute listen and see, you know, how it's going to play out, I think, for Eurovision night, from my opinion, from everybody else's opinion, etc, etc. And as I say, I'm appropriately dressed because, well, that's the colour what they wore, isn't it? It doesn't say Hollister, but it is what it is. But nevertheless, let's give them a re-listen and what we think of Discotheque by the Roop. But of course, I should point out they did try and represent them last year, and of course that went down really well with their song from last year. Whew, what a cracker that was. But hey, is it going to be just as good this time around? Let's see. All very white. All shaking. Hey, there you go. Something to recognise already. Something to recognise. See? Yellow outfit. See? Ooh, was very dizzy. Every single one of them have gotten yellow. Apart from the background, it's very pink. Like that. Gotta love the beat. It's typical, obviously, cliche. But this time it really hooks you. Especially with the weird characters that they've got. And once again, TikTok's gonna have a field day with this one. With the dance moves. See, they're just so random, aren't they, those dance moves? Come on. I'm a little bit perplexed as to why they use a pink background though, especially when they got yellow outfits. So I think it's a little bit of a mixed match of colour. That's good though, because it's all mad and using like the black and white squares, the checkered flag as it's kind of otherwise known. The Egypt stuff. Hey, is that going to be done for cultural appropriation? I wonder. That Egypt stuff. That's fine though. That's good as well. Doesn't. Yeah, the bridge really good. It doesn't need lyrics whatsoever. Just needs the madness that is the whoop at the end of the day. Back to the chorus. The lighting is quite good because it's flashy, but not too flashy, which is I think pretty good. Then again, BBC bound to give you some sort of warning, and there you go. Hey, it was a nice big finish there. I really like that one. Let's disco I need to learn the lyrics again to that one, but it's a catchy beat, which I really like about it. It's typically madcap from the Roop, as you would expect from them, and you know what? It's gonna do well. Come on, I can't see why it shouldn't do well. I already know the fan base are big for it already. And of course, don't forget, the Roop had to go through a national final with this song in order to get there, and they've done that. Something Kino couldn't do, could it? Anyway, as far as the rest of it is concerned, the typical madcap stuff. So what have you got as madcap? You've got the all yellow outfits, which is just bizarre. I find the fact that, as I say, a little bit of a mixed match in terms of colours with a pink background. I think they could probably change that up a little bit, if I'm honest with you. But then again, it's Eurovision. They probably might want to keep to it. Don't change the black and white effect though, because it's supposed to be like a madcap kind of thing. You're supposed to discotheque, because the idea of the discotheque is like, oh, very mad. What are these sort of strange lights around me and this great sort of music? It's like what you sort of get as like when you were 13 trying to go to your first, not discotheque, but first nightclub kind of thing, whilst trying to get alcohol-free beverages. Do you know what I'm saying? That's kind of what the feeling, what they're portraying and coming across. It will definitely qualify. I cannot see why it shouldn't qualify from the semi-finals. Where it's going to end up, though, that's a big question. And if we are going to compare that to, say, you know, their last year's entry on Fire, I mean, it's the same. But they're effectively the same song, and they come on, same beat and everything, but not necessarily a bad thing. It's their style, and it portrays very well across the board. I really like it. But of course, don't forget, we had a cancelled contest last year. This is a different ball game. This is a big question now as to whether, you know, artists who are going to do this virtually the similar stuff, which tends to be, I think, is going to be the theme this year. It's a big question as to whether it's going to be better or worse. We just don't know. And today we are turning to another one of the small countries in the little sort of gap at the north between Scandinavia and the rest of Eastern Europe. And it is the turn of Latvia, where they kind of did in Estonia in 2002. But hey, you know, I quite like that song from 2002, it has to be said. But I'm not reacting to that one this year, am I? I'm, of course, reacting to this year's entry from Latvia, more to the point. So I'm a little bit tired, bless me. The song this year for Latvia is called The Moon Is Rising. I have no idea if there's a moon out there, but, well, whatever. And it's performed by a performer called Samantha Tina, which again is one of the many artists that was scheduled to represent them last year, but thankfully it's got a nice little second chance. But disclaimer as always from the start, I have heard of it a few times. But it's been a while since I've heard of it. But before I give it another good listen to, please, it would be very lovely of you to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. I'm of course doing further videos surrounding the Eurovision Song Contest in my upcoming Inquivision series, as well as of course reacting to the remainder of this year's entries in the 2021 competition. And it would be great if you could, and of course please like this video if you haven't already done so either. So without any further ado, let's get on with reacting to Latvia. Funny noises already. This is very Samantha Tina. This is very wacky already, I'm not gonna lie. Sounds like Five Nights at Freddy's with that thing going on. Yeah, this is definitely Freddy in the background. What is this R&B? She's not rapping though. Why does it sound like R&B on this? I know she virtually had something similar to this last year, but this is just way more wacky R&B stuff. Oh my Gideon. Well, it's kind of catchy with the ba da 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 ba da ba 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 da ba bit. The chorus is literally just ba da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da. Good rhyming so far with the verse. I can see this doing very well for Latvia already because it's just a little bit different. Is she trying to be an R&B rap artist here? Because she so isn't. To be honest with you, I do like the beat. The beat is very catchy. It's 16ths kind of thing going on, I think. Either that or 8/8. Oh, hey, that caught me by surprise. Like boom bit there. Yeah, there you go. Alright. Oh, okay. A lot to talk about there. This is definitely unique. That is for sure. It is a unique piece of art as far as Latvia are concerned. But then again, they have a bit of a habit, I think, over the last few years of experimenting with different things. Sometimes it works out, other times it doesn't. Who here remembers 2015? That was a heck of an experiment, to say the least. And a very likeable experiment, it has to be said. With this one, it's just that. It's just one of them experiments. The R&B rap element in terms of its structure of the song with its instruments. Ooh, it won't go down well with the jurors. I'm not so sure the jurors are going to like that sort of song whatsoever. It depends on how they eke out in terms of its performance. She's very good, by the way, Samantha. She will absolutely slay it, as they say, and and I think they will gather a good choreographic performance with this one. I cannot see why not. Why that can't be the case. It's a qualifier. I can't see why it shouldn't qualify. Ooh, Televoters I think will like it. I think the jurors are going to be like, no. I don't think the jurors are going to like this one. It's definitely a Televoters paradise for this one. But hey, we'll see what happens. It's not my personal favourite. It really isn't my personal sort of favourite song, but I think it will do well. Now this is the point where I normally say where I react to another one of the entries, and this is Eurovision Song Contest, except that I'm reacting to the same country. In this case, it is Israel, and that is because they've done a revamp. Thanks a bunch. So yeah, I'm gonna have to react to it. But the good news is that a quick little disclaimer as always from the start. Slight change in the disclaimer, that is. I am going to hear it for the first time. So we'll see if there's any changes in it or not. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be... That's what I'm saying. Is it going to be slightly better? Is it going to be slightly worse? Well, we're about to find out. But before all of that, I think it would be fantastic if you could please subscribe to the channel, because not only am I reacting to every single entry in this year's Eurovision Song Contest, but also I'm going to be doing a little mini-series called Inquivision, and of course further follow-up videos from that, obviously bigging up to the big event. I'm of course going to be giving you updates in regards to what is happening, my opinions of it all, that kind of thing. It's just opinions, analysis, reaction, and all the rest of it. So that's what I'm going to be doing, which would be fantastic if you subscribe by clicking the subscribe button, obviously. And of course, if you like this video, then please do like it as well. And other than that, let's just get on with the revamp of Israel. For goodness sake, yes, let's do this. Obviously, it's a music video. Same intro at the start, though. It's the same intro at the moment. Same song so far. Oh, no! First change, it was that ba-ba-da. Okay, that's it. Other than that, it's virtually the same song with these usual, that kind of beat, if you know what I mean. I tell you what, for a skinny girl, she know's got some lungs on her, hasn't she? Makes you look like be even more impressed with her vocals, isn't it? Yeah, that okay, so that is the slight change so far. Alright, it's quite good. Keep similar. I don't know whether it would be better just taking that out, which was beforehand, or adding the vocals in. I don't know what was better, if I'm honest with you. I've noticed there's definitely more backing vocalists. Other than that, so far it's perfectly the same. I don't think there's been any change with the instruments or the structure of it all. Please do let me know in the comments below what you thought was, what you think so far is better or worse about it. I don't think there's much change in this, although I can't remember quite rightly if there was. I'm not sorry. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Bit of a drop of the beat there, and then kicks in. Okay. Whoa, okay. Didn't expect the screech there. Ah, even more of a screech. Oh, Christ. Okay, I must admit, the screech did surprise me then. Oh, Christ. Okay, right, okay. Time to properly analyse that now. Aside from the fact that there's not much change, the only thing that they revamped / changed or whatever is her vocals, or the vocals in amongst the song itself. Which I find a little bit bizarre, because for me, it worked perfectly well without it. That's just my opinion. When comparing the two of them, I actually don't mind either version. So in other words, I didn't mind it when it was just a simple where you just hear the instruments and just see the choreography and stuff like that. So for them to all of a sudden to give her more work to do with the vocals, as well as the backing vocalist for that matter, I'm quite surprised that they've done that. Now, is that good? Is it a good or bad thing that they've added the vocals? Ooh, I get why they've done it. I totally get why they've done it, because it just gives more emphasis to the song at the end of the day. It gives the structure. The structure comes out a bit more. The emphasis on the choreography, the staging, I guess, will come out a bit more in terms of its live performance, which I totally get. But I'm torn as to whether that's a good thing or not. To be honest with you, what I'm saying is I didn't mind the previous version, and I don't mind this version. So really, it's a toss-up completely as to which version is better. But other than that, I'm still going by the emphasis that Israel is a fairly decent song. But now that they've added the vocals in it a bit more, there's a bit more emphasis on it, I'm now torn as to whether it will qualify or not. It's half decent, but in terms of its structure, it's a song which is going to get lost in the crowd in amongst a double figure amount of songs out of that similar structure. On this particular video today, I am going to be reacting to Ireland. Yes, the country that was once the dominant force in the mid-90s, and I think is virtually going through a similar slump as that of the United Kingdom at the moment, because they've had quite numerous acts, it has to be said, all with different varieties, trying anything and everything possible to get back into the limelight of the Eurovision Song Contest. And yes, that included sending a puppet turkey. But thankfully, no puppets or turkeys this year, because once again, representing Ireland this year is Leslie Roy, who, along with many artists, was scheduled to represent them in 2020. And this time around, she is performing the song Maps. And again, quick disclaimer, I think I've heard of it once before, or twice. Yeah, I can't quite remember it. But nevertheless, this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to give them another listen, give them another try, and see what I think of it. So without any further ado, let's go see what they sound like. Instant beat catching you there. I noticed Ireland have already, as far as the music video is concerned, have taken a leap out of the UK's book last year, minus the snow. Oh, instant impact. You can recognise instantly where the up pitch, down pitch is going to go though. Not quite full, but sort of like, is it just me? But I can't understand a word what she's saying so far. I'm sure she's speaking English, or singing English for that matter, but I can't understand what she's saying. A virtually similar beat to what she had last year, but this one's a bit more like it's leading into a mystique area, which I'm guessing what she's going for, or what they're going for. She comes across well. I like her. Not so sure where the music video is taking me to, but then again, why am I watching it? I should just listen to it. The old theme of going, I liking the drums and the bridge, trying to catch you in. I honestly can't understand a word she said so far. They need to up that come the performance on the night. They need to really dial in what she's saying. This will no doubt get people going. It'll get me going on the night. I'll give it a few waving the flags. And that's where it ends. Okay, fair enough. So, right, okay. Well, first of all, I don't dislike it. I really like it. There's no denying it. This is a very good catchy song. Let me just do a little bit of that so you can get my logo back up there. But yeah, no, I like it. It's a very catchy song. But again, it just doesn't grip me. The criticism I have with it, it's virtually the same as it was last year, was it? Get the hook in regards to that. As it goes da 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 da. That's like your typical kind of catchy hook, which is, for me, it works. I quite like that. I must admit, it's a hook that works for me. The bridge I like because I think there was variety in the lyrics, not that I could understand it. That's my other criticism in regards to the listening of the original recording. I actually don't know what she's saying, even though I'm sure she's singing English, but it's like it's muffled out for some reason. It's like they could have done so much more in terms of emphasising the lyrics of how it sounds, but really all I can hear more was the music. I couldn't really hear what she said in terms of the original recording. So I think they might need to iron that out come actually on the night and push in terms of the microphone volume with her voice to say what she's actually saying in the song. Because quite frankly I have no idea what it's about, other than I guess a wonder of maps. But that's only me going by the title. I really have no idea. Other than that, in terms of the beat and the way it's structured, it's classic, but classically cliche, but in a good way. It's something that will hook me on the night. I'll be like, yeah, come on, let's give it a go. The only thing I will say that is, with Ireland's chances as always every year, it's up in the air as to whether they're going to qualify or not. I think she will come across well as long as she gets the vocals right on the night. I'm sure she will though. And she will perform good on the night, as long as they don't put in silly backing dancers. I find that a little bit silly. As long as they make the background work and everything else like that. Again, we'll have to see how it's going to come out in May. And other than that, there's not much else I can add. I've said my criticisms, I've said my pros as well. I like it, but it's not like a standout. Will it qualify? That's up in the air. And for this particular entry, we are heading right up the way north of the entire continent to a tiny little island known as Iceland. Yes, that particular country which has one massive volcano on it which erupted back in 2010, causing the whole of Europe's airspace to be completely, cancelled. But there's no cancellations here whatsoever, because it is the brand spanking return of Davi Freyr and his brand new song 10 Years. And yes, this is an up-to-date one, more or less. But never mind what I'm currently doing right now, Jesus Christ. We're here to react to the brand new song from Iceland. And of course, if you aren't familiar with how Iceland were last year, that basically Davi Freyr was selected via a national selection to become the representative for Iceland with the song Think About Things, which was my particular favourite. So damn the fact that 2020 wasn't a lot, well, it just didn't happen, because that song Think About Things by Davi and, the band are called something different, but I can never pronounce it, so my apologies about that one. Hence why I always call it hence why I always call it Think About Things by Davi Freyr, or more to the point in this case, 10 Years by Davi Freyr. Never mind about all of that. We're here to react to the new song, which, again, quick disclaimer from the start, I've heard it a couple of times. And without any further ado, let's get on with it. But before we do get on with me reacting to Iceland, I would like to please ask of you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, because I've of course got more Eurovision related content coming up throughout the rest of the year, leading up to the major event, or more to the point, the major week itself, come the 18th, 20th and 22nd of May. It'd be fantastic if you could subscribe, because there's plenty more where this came from. But without any further ado, let's react to Iceland. Ooh, going all to the opera here for this little introduction. Very different, that is for sure. Until you see, of course, come across the corner, the man himself, with a very unique introduction. So this is just his sound. I don't know how it goes. Oh, the old outfits are back. Straight in with the drums, I like it. Very nice. That the whole gang is back together, isn't it? It's the sound, it's just, just takes your breath away with Davi's sound, because it's quintessentially great about you. Well, it almost becomes part of Eurovision, I think. Now the old dance moves. These are new ones. I'm gonna have to learn on TikTok. Oh, mind you, those aren't. I'm sorry if I'm a bit more silent than usual on this one, but I'm just taking it's literally just taking my breath away. It's keeping me interested, that is for sure. Hey, I like the fact that there's like a separate drum bit in it. Fireworks from the I guess they're fake. Come on, they're fake. They make them look good though. Right, this is the only bit I'm a bit unsure about. I know he asked for a choir and everything, but is it necessary? Not so sure about the background, but then again, it's a very small stage, I guess. Hey, there you go, and wait for it. As per the music video from last year. So yeah, that'll do that. So yes, in case you couldn't tell by now. But first of all, let's of course get the old caveat out of the way. It's not as good as Think About Things. But that is not necessarily a bad thing, because at the end of the day, this is Davi's unique sound, bringing it about in full pelt, 100% uniqueness, and whatever I'm on about. But it's basically the same sound, but it was such a good sound beforehand. Why change it? Why bother changing it? Why bother mixing it up or doing something ever differently? He did something ever so slightly different with the choir, and that was the only bit I wasn't so sure about, or I didn't particularly like about it. And that was the only change he made from, say, his last song to this one. And immediately you can notice it's sort of like, is that really necessary? And that's what I kind of like about it even more, is the fact that it's sticking to the same tried and tested formula that he did last year and sticking it with this one. And of course the better thing about it is his first one was talking about, as far as I'm aware, his young kid that obviously was newborn, I guess. Whereas with this one, it's talking about his wife, hence the 10 years part. It's as safe as houses in terms of his style, Eurovision entry. Of course it's not as good as Think About Things. I don't think anybody was really expecting it to be as good as Think About Things. But I suppose if you were expecting it to be as good or slightly better, then of course you're going to be disappointed. But that's just ridiculous thinking, if I'm honest with you, if you were expecting it to be slightly better, because of course you weren't. Think About Things was legendary status. I mean, it even got on Strictly Come Dancing in the UK, for crying out loud. I mean, never mind about what the fact that happened last year. At the moment, as far as this particular song for 2021 is concerned, it's good. Definitely good. Is it good enough to challenge for the top? I don't know. I think it is definitely a challenger for the top, but we will see. Obviously, I've got plenty of other songs to go through. Obviously, it's going to qualify. There's no denying it. I can't see why I shouldn't. Is it a challenger for the win? Let's see what happens when I react to the rest of the entire countries taking part, because there's plenty more where that came from. This time we are heading to a country that quite literally is their number one as far as 2005 is concerned, and that is Greece. Yeah, just Google 2005 Greece. You'll see what I mean when I say that little intro there. And again, as far as last year's artists or the 2020 artists were concerned, and this time around for Greece, it is of course Stefania, a very attractive lady she is, and the song, of course, this year is called Last Dance. And of course, quick disclaimer before the start, I've heard of it a few times. Well, we'll see how we do it the umpteenth time around. But before I listen to it, of course, it would be great if you could subscribe to my channel, because not only am I, of course, reacting to every single entry in this year's Eurovision, but also I'm going to be doing a little mini-series called Jamie Vision's Inquivision. See what I did there? Which will be coming right around the corner very soon, if it is not here already, that kind of thing. I suspect it probably would be by the time I've released this video, but hey, I'm doing these on certain time slots when I've got time, is what I basically say. But in any case, never mind about my spiel and everything or what I do in my life. Let's get on with reacting to Greece, shall we? I can imagine this be like, yeah, sort of, ooh, kind of to start, if you know what I'm saying. She looks very good in the music video, I'm not gonna lie. No doubt she's gonna look very, very good on the night as well. A drum beats build up here as well. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. A little bit of a disco beat kind of thing going on. Da, da, okay. Just literally 2 words chorus with just going oh. Poor this neon lights, something or other satellites. Sorry, that just tickled me, those particular bit of rhyming there. It's like they were kind of, it just sounded desperate to try and rhyme something with neon lights. I don't know why. Don't touch him! I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I guess it's a good thing because I'm quite liking the... Hey! Bit of a high-pitched moment there. Good bridge, different lyrics, or variety of lyrics for that matter. Okay. Oh, that was it. Okay. Well, being 3 minutes out of shorten it somewhere. Okay. Okay. Overall, after hearing all of that, it's another one of them torn ones for me, if I'm perfectly honest with you. It's like, the middle bit was interesting, but it didn't capture any sort of popular imagination for me, and it didn't really grip me or anything. And but then the chorus kicked in and like massive surprise of like a complete disco dance anthem from the late 1970s, by the sounds of things, with obviously a modern, mixture in there. But other than that, it just didn't really go anywhere, if I'm perfectly honest with you. It's like another one of them elements which tries to grab your attention into liking it, especially with the disco anthem. And you know what? I quite like a good disco one. That got me going. You saw me a little shimmy there. But then you realise afterwards it was like, a little bit of a damn squid. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like during it you can enjoy it, but you don't really want to hear it ever again. It's like having fruit for breakfast or something. You can enjoy it once on the odd occasion because you know it's good. It's supposed to be good for you. But you do realise there are better things out there, and you can just move on. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's an entry which is okay, but again, it's not an out there one, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, and as much as I do like to like it because I quite like the artist herself, mainly because of how she looks. Anyway, but yeah, that's about it. That's about all I can say for Greece. I think it's okay. And given Greece's history for the fact that they've qualified for every single Eurovision Song Contest final, barring one, I can't see why they shouldn't qualify again, is all I will say. But I don't think they're going to do that well. And next up we have the second country of the so-called Big Five, and that is Germany. Their song this year is called I Don't Feel Hate, performed by, and apologies if this is incorrect pronunciation, Jendrik, or Jendrik, or whatever. Again, if I got it wrong, sorry. Again, quick disclaimer before I start listening to it again, because again, I've already heard it once before, or more to the point a few times before, because I remember quite liking this one. Before I delve deep into it, let's give him a listen again. Well, so far after watching like the first minute of this music video, and yes, for some reason I'm watching this music video, why on earth am I, more to the point, what am I watching?
What the I don't feel hate.
To be fair, I had the exact same reaction as what he did. Already a catchy beat. Middle finger again. This is a bit of a theme this year. I'm not so sure about the second part of the song, if you think about it. Does that really go with this bit? See, I like this. It's like, it's kind of like sort of 1950s sort of ukulele stuff. Hey, it's a nice little catchy, silly song, isn't it? Come on. Also, the message I think comes across quite well in the fact that no matter what goes against you, yeah, he doesn't feel hate. You see. But I'm not so sure about how this mixes in with the catchy bit. I get it's obviously trying to like, push it everything. Oh, it's all wacky and crazy and everything. But that being said, it's very catchy so far. I'm being hooked by it. So a lot of themes in this whereby it's tying in all of the social justice today, isn't it? If you think about it. I don't get that bridge. What's with the tap dancing? What is with that? What was with the radio broadcast in the middle there? I don't get that. The rest of it is good though. Right, okay, well. Okay, let's just get one thing clear out of the way. I like it. I think this is a really good entry for Germany. It's not solid, it's not winnable by any stretch of the imaginations, but compared to what happened to them in regards to the televoting in 2019...
Germany, you received from the public votes, I'm sorry, 0 points.
This is way, way, way better than that. But, obviously, they did have a fairly decent crack for 2020. But there you go. And of course, I'm not reacting to that. I'm not reacting to Ben Dolich's one. I'm reacting to this one. As far as this year is concerned, it is completely different. They're literally going El Wacko, full on, just like bulldozing their way through this, as if to say, like, hey, Gildo Horn's in town. Yes, so in a sense, I'm kind of comparing this entry to, say, Gildo Horn and Gildo hat Deutschlieb from 1998, where that was kind of madcap in itself. And as far as I'm aware, although don't quote me on this, I know quite a lot of the Germans are not particularly happy about this being their Eurovision entry, but the rest of the European public, well, they love it. And if I'm honest with you, I can't really argue against the European public because I'm one of them. I'm one of the outsiders to Germany. And I really like this entry. But again, I should critique quite big, if I'm honest with you on this one. The mixture between kind of the ukulele stuff and all of a sudden to be hit with trombones and a different kind of style of the beat. I'm not so sure that mixes well. For me, it didn't mix well, but then again, I'm only critiquing it and commenting on it and whatnot. Anyway, as far as the geezer himself is concerned, hey, look, he just looks mad, and he Jendrik, well, whatever it's pronounced, sorry. He looks mad. I suspect this might do well on the night. Obviously, Germany are one of the automatic qualifiers, so as far as their chances are concerned, I say top 10 finish. Can't go wrong with that. I reckon they might squeeze the top 10. I think this will definitely play well to the televoters because they're bound to come up with some sort of mad staging and mad effects or TV effects. If they've got the coffers for it, then absolutely they'll go for it. But the jurors, well, we'll see. We'll see with them. And that's about all I can add to that, really. And this time we are heading to the land that has the St. George's Cross in it. It's not England, but, you know, it's the UK, okay? Let's just clear that up. The United Kingdom are in Eurovision. No, we're actually heading to that cross, and also it's got 4 crosses on its flag as well. It's Georgia, okay? I'm feeling a little bit tired. It's Georgia. And again, it's one of those artists which, again, has returned for 2020. We should have done for 2020. And that is Tonika Kipiani with the song You. And a quick disclaimer before I start. This is quite a big disclaimer, actually, because this happens to be my mother's, one of my mother's favourites. So, yeah. The amount of times I've heard of it is a bit more than once or twice, shall we say. But nevertheless, I'm giving it another shot here, so let's just get on with it, shall we? But before I do, well, I've noticed with my little analysts, or analytics even, on my YouTube channel, that a significant amount of you who do watch my videos haven't subscribed. If so, what are you doing? Click that subscribe button to get more, because not only am I reacting to every single entry in This Is Eurovision, but also I'm doing all sorts of things related to Eurovision, such as talking about it in my Inquisition series, and of course I'll be doing all sorts of videos in the big build up to Eurovision week itself. So get subscribed right now, and without any further ado, let's get on with Georgia. Come on! It's a bit of a slow song, this one, as far as I'm aware. Oh yeah. Ooh, ambience. You want to touch sunshine, eh? I wouldn't recommend that. We'll build up here for the chorus. Get a little bit captivated so far, I'm not going to lie. It's a relaxing song, it has to be said. Mind you, it'll build up later. Don't slow down. I like the snare sound in this, it has to be said, with the drums. It's not like a typical snare sound, it's got the clap in amongst it. This is, I think, quite likeable so far. I don't know about you, but I think it is. Hey! Big one there. You'll love what, exactly? Then that's a big finish here, that's for sure. You could almost relaxingly go to sleep with this, couldn't you? In a good way. That's what I'm saying, in a good way. But I don't know, it's kind of a cheesy ending if you think about it, where it's trying to go all powerful and all the rest of it, so I don't know. Do you know what? Looking at this particular song here, which I actually don't mind, it's definitely a little bit different compared to all the rest of the entries this year. It stand out in the fact it is so relaxing and so like, oh, and all the rest of it. And of course it tells a story about how you know, just general undying love of a particular person. I want to be with you. To which I say to the majority of those Eurovision fans out there that don't like this song, why? It's a perfectly nice little song, but for some reason it's actually attracted more, well, almost as more dislikes than it has likes. And I'm just perplexed as to why that is the case. And if you are one of those dislikers, then please do let me know in the comments below as to why that is the case. Because as much as I can understand how it's not like out there, it's too cliche in terms of it pure ballads and the general slowness of it all, I can't see why I shouldn't wave my flag to this one. I'm just going to la la, put the candles out, even though it's a torch on my phone. But honestly, I don't see why I should dislike it. I do like it. Obviously, it's not obviously a complete winner, and if anything, even if it did qualify, which I think it's not going to, simply because of the fan reaction out there. I want it to qualify. I do want it to genuinely qualify, but I just know it won't. And that's down to you lot. That's really down to you lot. You've got to look at yourselves, yeah, you know. But yeah, even if it did qualify, I just can't see it doing it that well. Probably like bottom 5 or something like that, which is understandable. But I really do hope it qualifies because I want that to be in the final. And this time around, it is the first of the big 5 set of countries. And the first of the big 5 this time is France. More specifically, the song Voila by Barbara Pravi. And if I mispronounced that, my apologies. With this one, Gina, and again, I have heard this one. Okay, I will admit, just the once. And, well, there's probably a reason why I've forgotten how it sounds like. But hey, I could be wrong. I remember it being a little bit weird. Now, I know there's 2 videos out there in regards to this one, which is a music video and one which is a performance, but I'd rather watch the performances, the live performances of them, because I just don't see the point in watching actual music videos, considering when they're actually going to be performed live on Eurovision night. So that's why I'm watching the performance when it was in France, not the music video. Anyway, let's dive into France, shall we? She looks pretty, I'm not going to deny that. Lighting's good. Weirdly, it's got some. It's trying to give off some sort of hypnotic vibe, isn't it? The old individual spotlights, perfectly. I'm not so sure about the outfit. It's about as plain as it can be, I suppose. Passionate. Oh, I like that. I like the little crow things going on at the bottom there. I'm not sure where this song is taking me though. Or whatever she's talking about, she's very passionate about it. She's like trying to give off some wave of energy. It's like, boola la. Maybe it's supposed to be like some magical dream of some kind. But if anything, it's not really doing anything for me. All I can see is just a bit of passioned, shouting-esque singing, if I'm honest. Slightly speeding up, I think. Yep, speeding up. Trying to get you hooked at the end. Well, okay. That was a lot to take in. Okay, I think. Okay, the main issue I have with that is that it's seriously trying too hard. It's like, okay, whatever it's speaking about, I'll have to dig deeper into that obviously at some point, but it's obviously trying to say some sort of passion in regards to maybe love, I don't know. But it's not doing anything for me. I don't know why it isn't. It's trying too hard, that's all I can say to it. I like the melancholy vibe of the song structure, like, yeah, there's no drums, there's nothing fancy where it's just a bit of piano, but that is quite likeable. The lighting is good. The way it's kind of portraying the performance is catchy, but weirdly I don't like it. I don't. I said I'm not being horrible. I get why this would be likeable, because it is quintessentially French. It's like it's almost back to its roots of sort of days gone by of great French Eurovision entries, but nothing for me, I'm afraid. I suspect it might do okay in the jurors. Like they'll probably be a bit unthinkable with this because of the catchiness flavour of it all. Like trying to the catchy rap with the voila bit. What I'm trying to say is, I can understand as to why people would like it, but it ain't for me. It really is not for me. I am so trying my hardest to like it, but it's just whimpering on a damp squid. As far as I think of that, it's not for me. It just really isn't for me. It's just simply it's trying to cram in so many ingredients that it doesn't really know on how it's all going to be mixed. Do you know what I'm saying? That is just for me how I see it. And it is the turn of the country that once sent a bunch of monsters to Athens, Greece, and that is Finland. And the entry this year is Dark Side by Blind Channel. And again, disclaimer at the start, I've heard it a few times. There's a reason why I mentioned monsters to begin with, because they did a style of music that was pretty much unheard of as far as the Eurovision Song Contest is concerned, but they made it work. Hard Rock Hallelujah obviously is a classic, but will this be the same? Well, let's go and find out, shall we? Obviously we're going to do that. Oh, red lights, spinning geezer. Oh, turned all upside down. Oh yeah, I remember this now. Oh, flashy already. Getting the rock beat. See, this is the kind of music I must admit I do really like. Instant hit you there. Kind of hip-hop-ish. Okay, not so much hip-hop, but just rap. Oh, they look cool. It's kind of like going back to 1970. There's a lot of flashing now. Big finish. Very long hair from all of them, has to be said. Big scream! Right at the end. Oh, that is just... Ooh, that'll get some rock people going on Eurovision night, I tell you. Me included on that one. I am a sucker when it comes to stuff like that. That being said, by comparison of other rock songs I have heard, while it's not the best rock song I've ever heard out there, and I will get to the slight bit of criticism in a minute, it is definitely one to watch, I think, at this year's competition. Qualifying wise, it will. I think it will definitely qualify. No doubt about it. The televoters are going to go big time on this. I reckon it's going to save them big time. The jurors, hey, they know what Eurovision is like, so they might not go for this. I'll get to the criticisms of why I think it's not as good as it should be, because I'll say it now. I might as well say it now. It's just a little bit too hard. As much as it'll bring rock back into this year's competition big time, because at the end of the day we didn't have a rock song either in 2019 or 2020 for that matter. Although we might have. Did we have one in 2019? Oh, let me know in the comments below if we did or not. I can't remember now. But I know we didn't have one for 2020, so this is a much welcome relief. And unsurprisingly, it's come from Finland. Not the first time they've done a rock song since, that day in 2006. As far as the look of them is concerned, they're like, as I say, Ozzy Osbourne style-esque, especially the singer. I mean, that's going to, I think, hook people straight away. Keyboardists look about... Oh, actually, the keyboardist, didn't you think of sort of like... That is good. As far as a brand is concerned, that is good. To have everybody else like... With all the wave in the hair and to have one geezer just sort of going... Very smart. Very smart. Literally just stay dull. Fair enough on that one. To have two lead singers, though... Come and think of it, it is unusual. That is, very unusual. Anyway, So aside from the minor criticism that I have, I think it's just a bit too hard. But then again, I did have the headphones blurting out loud, so if you are going to play this, say on the, well, if it's going to be played on the radio, or you've got it personally played in your car, like on a CD or one of them special auxiliary cable kind of things going on, or Bluetooth device, etc. Yeah, turn the volume down just a little bit. But other than that, it's a surefire, great song to be added to this year's competition. But that's about what I think of it, to the best of my knowledge. But never mind what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, down there. And of course, click the like button also below. There's a logo on the bottom left there for your good measure, just to remember, just to remind you guys what the like button looks like. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, which is fantastic if you have done, I know I've done a few of these already, and I think I know I kind of miffed a few creations in regards to my comments on the vocals of the lead singer. Let's just say it's growing on me. I have heard it a few more times, just a quick disclaimer, it's growing on me. And maybe, just maybe, she had, well, of course she has great vocals. She has great vocals, but I just, for some reason I just thought maybe that she was off that night. But what do I know? This time we are reacting to the country of Estonia. And it's quite historical because this tiny little country, which borders quite a few other tiny little countries, is quite historical because they were the first of the smaller countries in the early 2000s to gain, it has to be said, a rather surprising win back in 2001, but hey, whatever, a win's a win, you know what I'm saying? This year they are represented by Uko Civice. Again, if I put up apologies if that is incorrect, please let me know in the comments below on what that is actually pronounced as. And the song this year is called The Lucky One. Again, as always, quick disclaimer from the start, I've heard it once or twice beforehand, or a few times beforehand, but again, we're going to react to it once again together to see how it actually sounds, and give my initial reactions to it for all of your enjoyment, because that's what I want to do. I want to give you guys some great entertainment. But before we do that, be sure to click that subscribe button for more Eurovision related content on my channel, because I'm going to be doing that all the way up until the big main event itself come mid-May. And well, it's not just reaction videos, it's going to be all topics related around the Eurovision Song Contest, which I'm sure you're going to absolutely enjoy. And of course, if you like this particular video, then click that like button also on the screen as well. But anyway, without any further ado, let's get on with it. This is the national final performance for this one. Ooh, very deep voice here. I think someone forgot to tell him that his bow tie's undone. Ooh, bit quite powerful already in terms of the ambiance of that boom. Oh, hello. Thunder and lightning, it's getting exciting. I'm sorry, who was the geezer who told him to, who was the geezer who said it'd be okay to go in water when you clearly can't swim? But I like the fact that I like the little bits there where it kicks in with the verse there. You could say he is slaying it right now. I'm sure why they did the old cinematic thing in the verse, but full-blown 16:9 in the chorus in terms of its picture. Gone, I should be gone. Oh, back to water again. Okay, the bridge is not too bad. Still keeping me interested, it has to be said. Quite likeable. And he holds a note as well. Still, there he is. Oh, that's all chained out on the floor. So much for the chains keeping together. Lighting is good. Backs round, not so sure. Oh, red background after that, and that is that. Oh, okay. So this one's rather interesting in the fact that it is kind of almost Sergei Lazarev in terms of its performance, but the song is a little bit unique in itself, and I don't know why that is. It is very relatable and actually quite likeable. This is definitely, I think, going to do, for me personally, I think it could potentially do really well for Estonia. That being said, again, it's not a song that is going to blow out of the water. No pun intended. It's almost like Estonia's gone into sort of like a certain genre whereby they think it's going to work out well, but it's almost like they're trying too hard a little bit. And for me, that could be a bit of a detriment as far as this particular song is concerned. Nevertheless, it's catchy. I quite like it. I'll have to learn the lyrics a little bit because if I'm honest with you, it's a little bit indecipherable. But he works it well, the vocals are well, the lighting was really well. The only thing I was a bit unsure about was what chains had come into it, but then again I didn't really probably hear the lyrics, so what do I know. Nevertheless, I think this is a qualifier, and fingers crossed for Estonia, I think they could do well with it. Ooh, I don't know where in the final, but I can't see why it shouldn't be a qualifier, but it is what it is. And we're heading back to Scandinavia land now, as we turn... Scandinavia land, right. As we turn to the land that once brought a fantastic victory in 2013, and a really good song as well for that matter, but will it be the same this year as we head to Denmark? Now, I know I'm going to get this wrong because it's a foreign sounding artist and a foreign sounding song, so just bear with me for 1 second, okay? So the song is Ove Pa Hinanden, performed by Fur and Flame. Again, apologies if that's not correct. Now, obviously my usual disclaimer at the start is that I've heard of it a few times before, but yeah, it bodes well for the fact I've forgotten it. There's also a little bit of an artist thing involved further into the background, which I am aware of, but I'm not going to address it here because it's a little touchy, shall we say. But never mind about touchy subjects, I think we'd rather touch the subject of subscribing to this channel, which would be absolutely fantastic if you could do, because not only am I reacting to every single one of the entries in this year's Eurovision Song Contest, but also I am going to be doing a little mini-series called Inquivision, which basically talks about anything to do with the Eurovision Song Contest. See what I mean? Right, well, in any case, never mind about all that, let's react to Denmark, shall we? Go. Oh yeah, I remember this one. Bloody hell, the outfit on him already. Bit of a bulky bloke also. Are we in the 1980s for this one? Mind you, the song sounds like it's from the 1970s. But there's a very good reason for that. This bit sounds like the 70s. But this pre-chorus bit sounds like the 1980s. But this bit... da-da-dee-da-ba-da... something like that. Sounds like something from the 1990s. Sort of circa Sonic the Hedgehog kind of thing. What's with the gladiator thing in the background? Okay, that's just some corny dad dancing. I noticed with his mouth he's got sort of like that. Ba ba ba. Ba ba. The whole vibe of it is sort of like from the 90s. From the 80s even. But it's like you're travelling through the years with this particular song. I'm not so sure that's a good thing though. Because people like it quite up to date, you know what I'm saying? That being said, I quite like it so far. Weirdly. Oh, and we got Freddie Mercury coming out here with the sort of half a microphone stand. I have no idea what the song's about, but seems quite corny in itself. But maybe we need a bit of corny this year. I don't know. A little bit of variety doesn't help. Doesn't hurt even. And we briefly go back to the 70s or 80s. There you go. Okay, well, right. This is a very, very, very interesting one. I don't know. Okay, I did originally say I liked it, but then when you go through it all again afterwards, it's sort of like, what was that all about? It is just such a puzzling one, because you kind of should like it, but at the same time, it's just not completely up to date. It's not what the current climate of what Eurovision is about, and I'm sorry, Denmark, but it feels like you're going slightly backwards with this one. It's like a song that, as I say, just travels through the ages, but nothing co-current. I don't know why I feel that way. But maybe it was because of the live orchestra involved in it, which maybe influenced me a little bit. Obviously, there isn't going to be a live orchestra per se come Eurovision night itself, so they have to come up with some sort of backing vocal of some kind. So in other words, I haven't heard the actual recording of it or anything. I've only just heard this version. But even so, I don't know. It should be a likeable song, but at the same time, it kind of puts you off. I'm sorry about that, Denmark. So yeah, I honestly, I can't see this qualifying. I'm really sorry. It's Denmark do tend to have a habit of putting out songs that you think you should like, but you know they're not going to get anywhere, and I think this is one of them, and I'm really sorry about that. The artists themselves kind of come across as not that brand likeable either. I don't know what it is. They try and do like, you know, and he just goes, but yeah, the way they come across in terms of their looks, the way they sound, it just didn't impact at all. Which, coupled with the song and the styling of it all, Sorry then, Mark. I think you missed the mark this year for 2021. And next up, in that illustrious list, we have the Czech Republic. What a glorious flag that is. It's actually pretty cool, don't you think? The entry this year is Oh My God, as in Oh My God, by Benny Christo. And if you are familiar with that name, it's because he tried to represent the Czech Republic last year. He was, of course, one of many in the list that, well, was scheduled to represent Czech Republic last year. But hey, list said about what happened last year, the better. Okay, let's just leave it at that. And as far as I remember from, again, the disclaimer is always at the start. Obviously, I did listen to it. But I remember listening to it once, maybe twice. And I remember the Omega bit. But, you know, it's spelled Omega or Omaga or whatever you pronounce it as. But it's like where he pronounces it Omega. Again, we'll have a re-listen to it right now and see what I think of it. So let's go and listen to Czech Republic! Woo! Instant beat. Boom, bam, bam. See? Goes Omega. The silent swear word there. I'm going to ignore that actually. Was the damn site already better than last year's entry? Or his last one? He slows it down a little bit, just builds it up now. Okay, yeah, I like the pitch going up and down. Do you know, I quite like this so far, I must admit. The beat is very catchy, gives a bit of oomph. I like his sound, in terms of his vocals, that's pretty cool. Oh, keeps the same theme if you like. There wasn't much of a build up for the previous chorus this time around. See, it goes, oh my god! Different lyrics for the bridge, I think. I did like it, but then I realised, oh, it's kind of like the same thing if you think about it. But then again, it's a complete far cry already than what he did last year, or at least attempted to. It's stuff, again, I've heard before, you know. See, it's another one of them songs. So it's gonna slow down. It's like it started off quite catchy and then it's like on a bit downhill. I don't know. Okay. So I think it's disappointing overall because as much as everybody agrees it is a damn sight better than what the Czech Republic did last, well, you know, that particular one that got cancelled, shall we say. I think it's another. It catches you already. It's like da da oh hello ba da 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 dee 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 dee. Almost. It didn't go dee 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 dee, but you get the idea. The thing is, though, I've kind of forgotten it a little bit. I'll probably need to re-listen to it a few more times in order to actually get into it. It probably is one of them grower songs, I would imagine. But in terms of an instant impact, it was like woo yeah, and then slowly but surely it got a little bit boring. I don't know why, but that's how it came across to me. Nice beat. The guy looks quite, you know, it's Benny Christo. Just go with it. I would, yeah. I mean, he comes across quite well, if I'm honest with you. I don't know how it's going to come across on the night because obviously we've only seen a music video. I'm trying to imagine what he would do. Obviously, it's a bit of a jungle theme in the music video, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some bits of that in the background on the night. I'll probably hear, judging by his stature, he'll be like, oh my god, I can't do it, apologies. Apologies about that one. But yeah, like, it will be interesting to see how it comes across on Eurovision night. And especially since the news now that's come out that every single artist is heading to Rotterdam. Again, I'll give my thoughts on that in another video. But yeah, with this one, it's like, it started off good. Don't get me wrong, I really did like it from the off. But then after about a minute and a half, it was like, is this actually going anywhere? Because it just kept to the same stature. Obviously, it tried to and then build up again, which is like a cliche thing to do in the bridge. So I do in order to catch you out and it's cliche in that sense. It's classic to do. Whether that's in a good way or a bad way, I don't know. But that is what I think of it. And we are continuing with our little small country theme as we're turning to the country that gets a lot of help from Greece. So, yeah, 12 points all around from Greece. It's Cyprus. Of course it's Cyprus. And this time we'll be reacting to their entry for 2021, which is El Diablo, performed by Elena Sagunu. Bear with me. Elena Sagunu. Again, apologies if that's wrong, but I'm just going by what it said. Okay, it just looked like a Sagunu, so just go with it. Okay. But before I quickly delve into the actual song itself, I want to just briefly address the controversy surrounding it. And I say brief because this is literally no controversy whatsoever. It's just a bunch of people, a small amount of people who got on their high religious horse a little bit, saying that there shouldn't be the entry because it's a sign of the devil. I mean, yes, it's El Diablo, but why else are you going to call for something that's in regards to, say, abusive relationships? And yes, of course, quick disclaimer as always from the start. I've heard of it a few times, and obviously I've seen what some people have addressed as controversial, which I find a load of rubbish. But there you go. And actually, one little thing I forgot to put on, which I've just realised. There you go. Forgot to put this little light on, so yeah, you couldn't see my full face in full glory, so sorry about that in my previous video, so yeah, I've just addressed that now. So in any case, before we continue, please do subscribe to my channel, because not only am I going to be reacting to every single one of the entries in this year's competition, but also there's a little mini-series out coming soon called Introvision, which... Inquivision. I'll get there eventually. Inquivision, which will be coming soon. But otherwise, enough about all this malarkey and me getting things wrong. Let's just go react to Cyprus, shall we? Because quite frankly, I need something good in my ears. Hey, straight into a sort of an intro chorus. Do you know it's quite glamorous? Again, the song is very similar to not only of other songs in this year's competition, very straight away, but also to what Cyprus have done beforehand. Whee! This is actually a very good chorus to hit you straight away, actually. Quite like this so far. Okay, this definitely needs to be out of my playlist already, if I'm honest with you. See, this is a bit different because it actually adds lyrics in the chorus. Yes, they're samey, but they're very good. You know, the emphasis and the structure already, and the beat, is catchy. Also, I like the fact with the music video that it's just her, nothing else so far. I suspect dances will be added. Not that I remember from the previous time. Is it just me though, is she a little bit almost too skinny? I get that she looks quite lovely and glamorous and that. Just seems a little bit too skinny for me. I don't know. The backing dancers. That's interesting. It's like little kids singing in the background for the bridge part. Hey! I give my love, I give my love, I give, tells me I'm his angel. I'm his angel. Whee! There you go. Alright. So yeah, it seems like... Yeah, I like it. Okay, look. I wasn't a big fan of the Greek entry, and I'm sorry about that, and I know there was quite a few dislikes in regards to that, but that's fine. You don't have to agree with me. Well, you know, all's fair in love and music taste. But with this one, it is so much better. I'm sorry, it is so much better. It's the basic structure of it they get. And it's the same sort of formula they have used for the past 2018 and 2019 editions. Let's just forget 2020 because obviously that kind of never happened. This, they use the same formula for as per the last two ones, but it's a formula that is tried and tested and worked, and it's got me. It has simply got me, and I just simply like this one. It's not a winner. Let's just get that over and done with. It's a qualifier, but it's not a winner. But I can't see why it should do very well indeed. I think this will do very well. You've got a very nice looking lady or very nice artist for that matter, who will come across really well on stage with a good choreography and no doubt good vocals as well. I think the performance is practically going to match what is shown in the music video. Can't see why it shouldn't. And yeah, overall I think this is a good egg for Cyprus. I really do think that. And that's pretty much all I've got with that. It's just a good solid egg. And you know, I'm going to give it my little wavy of the flag. Why not? I give my heart a booby-doo-da-dee-dee-dee-dee. Good morning, afternoon or evening everybody. I am Jamie Vision and welcome back to a brand new reaction video where I am now reacting to the next country, which is Croatia. So who's representing Croatia this year? Well, more specifically, it is Albina with the song TikTok. And not to be confused with the popular app, TikTok, more specifically as far as the title is concerned, has been used before. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out with Croatia. Again, quick disclaimer, I've heard of it once, but again, it was quite forgettable, so let's just say it bodes well. Much like my shirt. So there you go. Anyway, let's give Croatia a listen. Give Croatia a listen. Freaking English. Very long hair, very blonde hair. You can already see the dancers. I can recognise the beats straight away, even without like sort of listening to any proper beats, if you know what I'm saying, which is, I suppose, good. What the hell are they wearing, those backing dancers? I wouldn't be surprised if there's extensions in that hair. See, I quite like that when it comes to songs like who, yeah, they have a lot of. She's singing a lot of words in the chorus. That's what I quite like that actually, because it gives it extra variety along with the main beat, which is, of course, is a bit of a fill there. Floor looks good. Not so sure about all that lifting stuff, but I like the staging of it. The lighting effects are good. I'm sure she's singing live, but don't get me wrong with that one. But I'm not so sure it's good though. Her vocals aren't exactly up to scratch, if I'm honest with you. Triangle effects. See, I love the staging. I really do like it. But I'm just not sure about the rest of the package. Oh, that's Croatian. I don't like that. Nah, she hasn't. She's not got great vocals. I hate to say that, but she hasn't. But I like the whole package of it, though. Apart from the dancers, I just don't. I don't get with dancers. I really don't. I like her outfit, though. Hey, alright, fair enough. Fair enough, okay. There's quite a lot going on in that one, it has to be said. It's almost like too filling for me. I get the package, and I love the staging, I'm not going to lie. It is a really cool staging. The lighting, the TikTokness of the certain, like, highlighted lyrics sort of popped on in the background, I really like that. I'm not so sure about her though. It's like her as a brand, as it comes across, just doesn't seem. No, I don't quite get that one. This is you can tell that there's definitely a bit of like extra hair extensions going on there. Because at the end of the day, hair's not. It can't be that long, surely. But that's just my opinion. As far as her is concerned, it does quite fit the song. Not bad vocals, but a little bit iffy, if I'm honest with you. Not the best of vocals I've ever heard. But you know what? I think she might do alright on the night. The song itself I quite like. I must admit. It's good in the fact that, as I mentioned throughout that, there was a lot of lyrics going on. I couldn't quite catch them all, but that's kind of a good thing because it keeps people guessing on what the lyrics are. It's no good just trying to get lyrics out there which people can instantly get. I think that's one thing if you want to do it to like a dance track, but with like a pop anthem kind of something like this, you need more variety and you need more sort of you need more lyrics within the song in order to make the piece itself a bit more whole, if you know what I'm saying. Other than that, I don't really have much else to critique about it. As far as its positioning, look, Croatia have had a recent tough time with things is concerned. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. I could see it qualifying potentially. Again, it will obviously depend on the others, but as far as the typical pop anthem is concerned, I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But neither would I be surprised if it didn't qualify. I can see that if they went for the same package with those dancers in those questionable outfits, I can see people getting turned off by that, if I'm honest with you. So it's a toss-up with that one, it really is for me. But we're coming to a country where recently it's done pretty well. It has to be said. I'm, of course, talking about Bulgaria. And again, another one of the artists for this year's Eurovision is a returning artist that should have taken part in 2020, but thankfully has been given a lovely little second chance in the form of effervescent, little innocent, Billie Eilish look-alike / sound-alike Victoria with her song "Growing Up Is Getting Old." can't believe I just did that in one take. Quick disclaimer as always from the start, I've heard of it a few times already, but again I'm reacting to it properly just to give it my own personal little analysis right at the end. But of course, before I do react to it, I would please like you to subscribe to my channel, because not only am I reacting to every single entry in this year's Eurovision Song Contest, but also I'm going to be doing another little mini-series, Jamie Vision's Inquivision, and I sincerely hope you do like it. Much like you're hopefully going to like this video. If you do, click that little like button on the bottom right. But without any further ado, let's go listen to Bulgaria. There's a girl after watching a bit of TV. In black and white, by the sounds of things. By the look of things, even. What are we, back in the 1970s? Is it WandaVision? It's very Victoria, this. I mean, as if she wasn't going to deviate from her style of sound. Is it just me, or does she look a lot more like Cheryl? Very gentle, this part. The chorus I wasn't so sure about. Oh, hello, the teddy's moving. Of course it is. I get this is obviously her style to go a little bit high when needed to, but I'm not so sure if it was required in the chorus. I'm not so sure that it sounds right with the song. It's definitely a bit more punchy, more powerful compared to a previous entry. Mind you, it is picking up a bit for me. Okay, I must admit, that all of that did hit me a bit. Oh, it's just her voice at the end. Ooh, I don't know whether to like that one or not. There were some elements where it didn't, like, catch me or anything. Like, in the first minute and a half, it didn't really sort of get me involved into the song. It was, like, too much similar to her style. I do want to like it, but there's just some elements to me that made me go off. As I already mentioned, it's like the main part of the chorus, when she goes a bit high, just didn't really suit her. I think it would have been better if she went, growing up is getting old. Keep it normal in the chorus rather than try to go high. Then obviously go high for like the main, you know, blast and everything right at the end of the final chorus. I think it would have made more sense, because I like the ending part. It did get me, and I was quite fascinated by it. Hence why you won't see much of it on this video. But other than that, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, a bit strange on that one. It's like elements of me not liking it and elements of me liking it. So it's very torn as far as I'm concerned. Very in the middle. But I totally get that this is a qualifier. If I'm honest with you, by comparison of other songs I've heard, this is a qualifier for me, especially when you consider that she's riding off the back of a good train from last year. This is her style. It's still, I guess, unique compared to the other songs. But hey, she's always going to get the Billie Eilish comparisons, I'm afraid. So, whether that plays into her hands or not, I don't know. But for me, as far as I'm concerned, this is a qualifier. Whether this is going to do well or not, I don't know. I'm torn on that one, so I'm literally just going to leave it at that, and hope it qualifies, and that's about it. This time we head to the land of basically quite a bit of chocolate. Not Switzerland, but Belgium. But then again, I love chocolate a lot, so Belgium is always a lovely place in my heart. Not that I've ever been to Belgium, but you get the idea. Anyways, it's once again time for another one of them acts which should have scheduled today to represent a particular country last year, but couldn't because of you know what. And this year it is the turn of Hooverphonic for Belgium, and their song this year is called The Wrong Place. And of course, Hooverphonic themselves, well, they've had a bit of a change in lineup. Twice. First of all, their younger girl who represented them last year with the band, well, unfortunately she got moved over for someone who was originally part of their band for kind of many years ago, apparently. And it's an elder girl, but I can't remember their name, I'm afraid, so there you go. And also the guitarist, I think, who said a particular statement in regards to the 1997 winning song, well, he got canned as well, so I'm not going to get into all of that, but save that for another video. Anyways, I'm here to react to the new song called The Wrong Place by Hooverphonic representing Belgium, so let's get on with it, shall we? Ooh. Interesting start, sort of straight to the beat, I think. Already a forgetful kind of situation going on here with the lyrics. Well, I recognise what she's saying, virtually. Oh, 2 pre-choruses, I think. Or was it just 1 chorus? Build up, so this is definitely a chorus coming up. Interesting the fact that it's kept with the same beat throughout it. Mind you, they were kind of like that with last year's entry, weren't they? Kept with the same beat. Ooh, it's not really going anywhere, is it? Other than the beat I like and her vocals. Sorry, I just want to go to sleep with this one.
12 seconds later.
I'm sorry, but all that at the moment, I don't even have any other words for it other than it is such a sleepy bass song. It is ridiculously sleepy. Tries to build up a little bit. Wait, hang on. Oh, bloody, we're nearly done already. That's not bad. That little head graphic there, but then again, it's only a music video. It's not part of the live performance. Oh, ends on a like an off note rather than a main note. Okay, yeah. Oh, holy oh dear. I mean, like, was it trying to go somewhere? Because for me, it's just like it landed like it was like trying to go onto a runway and like it was landing too smooth. Honestly, I just felt sleepy after that. It almost made me want to go to sleep. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think Belgium are gonna honestly do well with this one. It keeps with the same beat as it did throughout. At least with last year's one, they introduced certain instruments. It was like trying to build it up a little bit with the crescendo at the end, albeit it was the same lyrics at the end. With this one, they just keep the same beat and no like absolutely anything fancy, which I guess is not a bad thing. You need to keep it certain. You need to keep certain simplicity at the end of the day, and it would work for some songs, but for this, it's just like I almost feel zombie-ish with it. I don't know why, but anyway, other than that main criticism, she obviously has a nice voice, I guess. You know, I didn't hear much because with recordings you've also got to hear as to how because don't forget with music producing they have certain software whereby they can change the pitch of the vocals if necessary in order to make sure it's perfectly in time for the rest of the recording, and I can't hear much change if I'm honest with you, but then again, you know, it's only a pretty early recording. I don't know what it's going to be like actually on the night. One can only imagine how the performance is going to be on the night. It's like you can literally run your imagination wild in regards to how they're going to perform this on the night with the staging, with the lighting and everything else. If they get it right, they could squeeze through. But other than that, with this song at the moment, Belgium just rethink a few things, if I'm honest with you. Maybe reinvent it? I don't know. Speaking of re-editing, I've just heard that Israel are going to be re-editing theirs or revamp theirs or whatever, so yeah, I'm going to have to react to Israel again at some point. Anyways, never mind about what I think about Belgium. Please do let me know what you think. If you think this is actually good, then please do let me know, and I'll have obviously re-listen to it a few more times. Of course, I should have said disclaimer at the start. I had heard it once or twice before with this one, but yeah, for me it just didn't really go anywhere. But it is what it is. Never mind what I think. Please do let me know what you think, for goodness sake. Let me know in the comments below. For goodness sake, start talking. Get those keyboards out at the ready. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, please do click here. For another one of my videos, click here. And if you have subscribed, then please do ring the bell to get notified about my latest videos. So thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Toodaloo. You're in the wrong place. And it's a country which made its debut in 2008 and since then has gone, well, it's got quite a reputation to itself, it has to be said. It came up with a surprise win in 2011 and since then its entries have been serious, I guess. And that particular country is Azerbaijan, or as one particular spokesperson called them, Azerbaiyah. And again, it's another one of the entries which has a returning artist for 2021, which should have done for 2020, in the form of Effendi. But no Cleopatra this year. It is the form of Matahari, one of them fictional people, which is the title of the song. As always, quick disclaimer from the start. I think I've heard of it. Okay, I think I've heard of it once or twice, and again, we'll have to see how it comes about with this one. But before I start, click that little subscribe button if you want to see more of my stuff. Of course, not only react to every single entry in this year's Eurovision Song Contest, but also I have got a little mini-series out at the moment called Inquivision, and I'll be coming up with all sorts of different videos leading all throughout the course of up to Eurovision week itself, and I'll also be doing reactions throughout Eurovision week itself through all of the rehearsals and just my general thoughts of what I think is going to happen for Eurovision, and of course I'll be coming up with a proper top 39 list and top 10 list as a result. So yeah, there's plenty more to come from me, but in the meantime, let's react to Azerbaijan. Oh, hello. Massively into the title. I tell you what, already this is so much typical of her vibes. She's looking quite glamorous so far. Oh, there we go, Cleopatra work there. Oh my god. I'm sorry, but this is just... I mean, the amount of Control-C, Control-V from 2020 to this one. Already this is like... I've gone right off it already, I'm so sorry. She looks good in it though. I'm sorry, what? Are we going for sexual vibes in this one also as well? I swear this year has become quite sexual in itself. I mean, I like the beat, it has to be said, but by God, the amount of copy-paste in this one is ridiculous. Are we heading also to like Marrakesh or something in this one? You know what, I am amazed as to why people like this so far, because right now I am struggling to find anything to like it, and I really am. Oh, darkness. Oh, hey. Big finish now, that's for sure. I really am trying to like it so far, but still, hey. And that'll do that. Oh, dearie me, Azerbaijan, oh dearie me. Look, there are a lot of positives I can take with this particular one. She looks good, don't get me wrong. She will absolutely, I think, slay the particular song in question, Matahari, on the night. She, I guess, performs well. The choreography will be out of this world, especially with the backing dancers. But the song itself... The thing is, though, this has garnered a lot of positive feedback from the fans, which, if I'm honest with you, I am struggling as to why that is the case, because this, for me, yes, as much as I think it will qualify, because Azerbaijan, they have a bit of a habit of doing that, for me, I just don't understand how this is going to gain any sort of good televoting at all. The jurors, I think, will absolutely pan this one. It's such a copycat situation as far as good pop, the modern type of pop songs is concerned. And again, it's one of them songs that will not stand out in the crowd. It'll be in amongst the same razzmatazz as we have of plenty of other entries this year. I can't see why it should do well, but I know it's going to do well because Azerbaijan, as I say, are really consistently good in the contest. But then again, I would actually prefer it if Azerbaijan didn't qualify with this. They've only failed to qualify once, and that was through a song called Cross My Heart. I can't remember what year it was, but I know one of my best mates really liked that one and was outraged at the fact it didn't qualify. I think it was in 2017 actually, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember that. And I know you're there, comment down below, I know you are there. But yeah, honestly, I can't see myself liking this one. I would just probably get bored stiff of it because it's the same tired stuff, or same tried and tested stuff that we're going to be seeing in this contest, and yeah, it's just going to fly over me really. And to try and like link in with the whole Cleopatra thing from 2020, which was her song scheduled to be last year, I'm sorry, it just doesn't work for me. And it's 4 in a row as far as returning artists is concerned over the last 4 days, and that is because Vincent Bueno, who should have represented Austria in 2020, is back for another go in 2021 with the song Amen. Hallelujah, praise the Jesus of Amen. Of course, it's Slovenia with the the title of the same name. So Austria, bless your heart for having a song of the same name, but not necessarily in the same semi-finals, which is, I guess, good news. But before I react to it, it would be fantastic if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel on the bottom right down there, simply because I've got not only reacted to every single song in this year's competition, but also I've got the Eurovision series already out now with its first episode in regards to the Big Five. Episode 2 will be out next Saturday. What it's about, you're gonna have to find out, simply because I have no flipping clue. I mean, I have got a few ideas in my head, obviously, but I just don't know what to add next. Anyway, never mind about my Eurovision series. Let's react to Austria, shall we? Oh, straight away in the amen there. And the old piano as well. Cliche. It used to be quite upbeat last year for 2020, but this time it's very slow. P.S. a quick disclaimer. Actually, I think this is the first time I've heard this, so I'm just trying to work out the structure of it. Oh, and a power there. Is it what you wanted, alright? Very repetitive chorus already. Is this what you wanted? Amen. What's with the CGI crow? It's not Catastrophe Crow, that's for sure. Lost me already around about 1.5 minutes. I'm sorry. He puts a lot of passion into it, don't get me wrong, but the song itself is like, it's not a lot going for it. What's going on so far is it's very simple, but the amount of instruments. Oh, I'm on you. The bridge is catching me out. Okay, it's kind of caught me out a little bit there in terms of the bridge. There's a lot of amens in this. I can imagine this being surprisingly powerful on the night, come to think of it. Okay, that was it. Cool. Alright, okay. You know, I give credit where credit's due to Austria. Originally, for the first minute and a half, it kind of lost its way with me, and then it picked itself up in amongst the bridge. It was varietied a bit, it was styled and a bit more passionate in the last part of the chorus. I'll give you credit, it caught me out. Well done, Austria. Not a lot of songs do that to me. It initially was just like, as I say, kind of just slow and kept at a certain pace, and then it did kind of raise quite high. And surprisingly, it did, yeah, will me in. But that being said, it is not, I'm afraid, a little personal favourite of mine. I'm going to have to listen to it, not as of yet anyway, I'm going to have to listen to it a few more times just to see if it, hits me a few more, try and make my taste go towards its top 10, shall we say, if that makes any sense. But so far, I don't hate it, that's for sure. It's definitely a likeable little number from Austria. I'd be very surprised if it doesn't qualify, put it that way. So I can see it qualifying. Ooh, right now in terms of tastes, it's sort of here and there for me. But hey, I need to listen to it a few more times and I will get back to you in due course as to whether it's improved or kind of stayed the same for me in this particular video. And today it's me reacting to the most European country of them all, Australia. Because reason. Now, of course, I should point out the reason why Australia are in the Eurovision Song Contest is because they get their, well, they are, let me clear this up, an associate member of the European Broadcasting Union, which they get from the BBC, I should point out. Yes, SBS and the BBC happen to be good mates, so the BBC sort of like, if Australia want to enter it, let them, I don't care. And yeah, Australia have been part of the Eurovision movement and the whole circus every single year since 2015, ever since they got invited to participate in it. Of course, they very, very nearly came close to winning it in 2016, but since then they've been sort of like trying to find their feet a little bit. They've had some good entries, some not so good. But will 2021 bring sunshine and rainbows to this sunshine country? Imagine they have a lot of deserts. A big, big island. And again, it's another one of them artists who would again performed for 2020, but is back for another crack in 2021. And the singer is Montaigne with the song Technicolor. Good disclaimer as always from the start, I've heard of it a few times before, but I'm giving it another crack at it again. Hey, let's see what happens. And as always, it would be fantastic if you could subscribe to my channel, where not only am I reacting to every single entry in this is Eurovision Song Contest, but I'm also doing a little mini-series at the moment called Eurovision, which you can find on the first episode, which came out yesterday by the time I released this video, and it's of course all about the Big Five, so please do check that out in the little card on the top left there. But in any case, without any further ado, let's get on with Australia. Of course, for this one, it was performed live at a cricket ground, would you believe? She's very Montaigne. A little bit of a guitar riff kind of thing going on. Why is she in such tight clothing on this occasion? She used to have long hair as well last year. Why did she cut it short? Oh, mind you, it's Montaigne. I can't question her looks. Huh? Okay, I'm a little bit perplexed about the chorus right now because there's a lot to think about already. The vocals are, like, you know, about her purse style. I know she was a little bit nervous performing this, but they're actually quite alright so far. But as far as the chorus itself, it had this slight thing about bang, bang kind of thing, and I'm like, is that really necessary for this song? Not so sure what the dancers have got to do with it. I'm just perplexed by this really more than anything. Sorry if I've been a bit quiet, but I'm just trying to take it all in. I was like, what's with the dancers? Oh, high pitch there. Oh, a little bit of a key change, which I wasn't expecting, I must admit. Oh, there she goes in the high pitch right at the end. Whoa, okay. A lot to take in for Australia there. If anything, the real reason why I was staring at it, I'm just sort of like going... I'm like... Oh... I've got a bit of a headache with that one. It's like, again, one of them entries that is simply trying too hard. It's like she's... I get why she wrote it. It was everything's... I think to do with Technicolor, but it was in regards to, I think, her mother. Please do let me know in the comments below because I can't quite remember the full story of that now. But it's like she wrote it with good intentions, and yet for some reason, whoever decided to make it the song that it is behind the scenes, I think they've made a complete mess. I'm sorry, Australia, this is a mess of a song. It's all over the place. There was no need for that little biggie bit, which sounds like something from the 1980s. The performance, you know, I can't really fault it per se. It's like, well, you know, there's dancing and whatnot, you know, and everything. I'm sorry. This is the first time I've ever sort of like gone completely bamboozled by something. But at the same time, I'm like going, this ain't gonna work. I don't know how this is going to work for Eurovision because it is a song that has completely just made me go like, for want of better words, WTF. It's like for some reason it's a simple, tried too hard song, and that is literally all I can say about it. The structure simply is just all over the place. I don't get it. I get it's a song. But everything about it just made me feel like, what is this even about? I'm so sorry about that, Australia. And you can hate me all you want, but be nice in the comments below if you could please do that. And speaking of which, please do let me know what you think of it. Is it better than what I think it is? Because I'm just not so sure it's right for Eurovision. I really don't. I think it should belong in another universe, if I'm perfectly honest with you. There's a lot of thought put behind it, and if I'm honest with you, I way preferred her entry last year. Next up on the list is, well, effectively one of the countries that begin with A, and effectively the first country that begins with A, and that's Albania. Their song this year is called Karma by, again, apologies for mispronunciation, hold on a minute, Anxela Peristeri, I think? Sorry. Yes, one of them most eastern countries that are currently having a little bit of a hard time of things at the moment, but that doesn't mean to say their songs aren't great, and I would imagine this one's going to be pretty good. This is, actually I will admit, the first time I'm going to hear this song. I've never heard of it before. Now I'm going to be keeping the theme of songs whereby I've never heard of them before. It's the first time I'm going to hear them, which is, I think, a good thing. It's obviously what a proper reaction should be like. So yeah, fingers crossed this will be either good or it could be bad. One of the two. But of course, historically speaking, Albania have had good entries in the past, so I can't see why, this one should be good. That being said, in 2012 they came up with something very Albanian that, well, I wasn't personally a fan of, but many people were. Anyway, never mind about what happened in 2012, we're doing 2021, so let's go and have a listen to them, shall we? Reminds me of a model. Very instant impact already. Of course it's in Albanian, that's understandable. I'd rather not look at the music video actually. Slow build up, I would say. Judging by the theme of everything. Yeah, builds up slightly. Just a little bit of extra build up coming, it's coming, like with the in the background. Extra drum beat. Vocals. Slow down. Oh, okay, so an instrumental chorus that's like not been done before. I'm guessing this is about arguments or something like that. That's a little bit different. Normally you go boom bakum kind of beat, but this is pretty cool. Quintessentially Albanian, isn't it, with their type of beat in it. It's not saying me a light at the moment, unlike the lighting in the background. Going a bit all over the place. I get what they're trying to get, but whoa, just a little bit taken aback by that, do you know what I'm saying? That was shorter than I was expecting, I must admit. But then again, they made that little bit of a weird transition. And when it came to the bridge, it was just, whoa, a little bit all over the place. Okay, never mind about, we'll come to the bridge in a minute. So start of it was like, woo, cuckoo. It caught you immediately, fair enough. Slow down a little bit. And obviously with this typical build-up. I'm surprised, I must admit, for an Albanian entry, that they would go for choruses that don't contain lyrics. And just, obviously what they're going to try and do, I guess, is put backing dancers in there to try and like, or whatever sort of choreography they're going to do. But that's just my best guess. And probably stick a load of like pyrotechnics, or, not necessarily in the first chorus, but it's only pyrotechnics at the end. And yeah, she comes across well, especially her... Hey, it's hard to not notice, do you know what I mean? As well as a pretty face. Okay, let's just clear that up, okay. Anyway, so as far as the song itself is concerned, let's just say I've heard better Albanian entries. This one's not going to set me alight. Yeah, aside from the usual cliche stuff, which should work, for me it's just like... It's just not really going anywhere, is it? I'm not going to say it's dull or boring because it does catch you, but really the confusing element for me for that one was the bridge. It just went all over the place. It was too many instruments trying to do too many things at once. It was like a complete and utter mess, if I'm honest with you, with the bridge. Don't know what that was all about, but I guess it could work on the night when they work things out. But then again, what do I know? Albania, though, in recent years have had a bit of a tough time in the Eurovision Song Contest, and I have a feeling it's going to set to continue. I have a feeling this is a non-qualifier, but it's still early days, we don't know yet, and it is the last one in the series. I saw 39 of them, I'm afraid. Would have been 40, but you know, less said about Belarus this year the better. And this time we're heading to some good old-fashioned flair in the form of Italy. Except this year, the flair's gone out the window, as this time it is a rock song, which it has to be said, as far as Italy is concerned, you wouldn't have thought it would be a rock song, but nevertheless it is what it is. And the performers are Maneskin, or Maneskin, or whatever you pronounce them, with the song, give me a minute, Zitti e Buoni? Buoni? I'm not Italian, but please let me know in the comments below on how it's pronounced. Again, quick disclaimer, this is actually a song which I've heard quite more often than just a few times, so yeah, you could probably get what I'm going to say about it a little later after I've reacted to it once again. But before I do, please hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to be doing so many more videos in regards to Eurovision, and it'd be fantastic if you could join me on my little journey as we head to the main event itself come mid-May. And of course, click that like button as well. But without any further ado, let's react to Italiano. Oh, getting straight in with the rock there. Whoa, one of the outfits. Hey, it's Eurovision. You can't beat Eurovision without weird outfits, can you? I'm seriously questioning everybody's sexuality here. and sexual preferences. Even that one, I'm not gonna lie, in the purple room. I'm assuming she's on the bass by the looks of things. Something tells me that might be a Mapex. Oh! There's a lot of lyrics going on, but as far as the rock theme is concerned, oh, you gotta love it, and you boom, bow, boom, da, bow. And it's simple drumming as well, I should point out. Oh, they're all brushed up now. At least you can say he's linguistic with the lyrics. There's quite a lot going on. Yeah, a little too much for my liking. Alright, you get the idea, we get the idea. You're alright, stop singing Italian, it's too much! Oh god. I like the, in the chorus, you get sort of like the offbeat of the drums to like kick in with a little bit of extra diverseness and little quirkiness, if you know what I'm saying. Keep it nice and simple, absolutely. I'm not so sure I want to see what they're doing there. Keep it basic there with the drums without any other instruments, yes. Big finish. Oh, by the way, I think this is ever so slightly longer than 3 minutes, this particular version, so they'll have to shorten it down. Probably this bit they'll probably shorten down. Might be a bit too much. Hey, there you go. Right, awesome. Italy, you surprise me every year on just how much great songs you actually kick out there. And you know what? I am so happy that Italy are back in the contest. Well, I say back in the contest. They've been back in the contest since 2011. For some reason, they took a massive hiatus between the end of 97 to 2011. But every year, virtually every year, they just take the contest ultra seriously, don't they? They push in their great Italian flair, and the world knows about it in more ways than one. They've had opera, they've had jazz, they've had obviously normal conventional pop songs, but they've had a great modern twist to half of them, and they're just a good joy to watch, Italy. And once again, they pulled out of the bag this year. I mean, who would have thought they would go with rock? Seriously, come on. Who would actually thought that Italy would go with a rock song this year? Especially when in 2020, they went for a song which quite literally made everybody sing whilst everyone was in lockdown. So, you know, fantastic. And this year I wouldn't be surprised if, even German, Spanish people, even us English, would try and learn an Italian or two with these lyrics. Especially the second verse. Although, I certainly won't. Yeah, I do feel the only thing letting it down was the second verse with so much lyrics going on. It was kind of a little bit of an earache. But other than that, this will be solid for Italy in the final. Top 5, I would say. Definitely top 5. Obviously, Italy are an automatic qualifier, so they can't go for any of the thingies. And of course, yeah, they're part of the Big 5. Of course. I almost forgot to say that at the beginning. They're part of the Big 5, so they're automatically in the final. But yeah, they're top 5 without a shadow of a doubt. And obviously, I like rock songs as it is, and it's going to be in my little personal top 10. So yeah, why not give it a little wave? A little bit of a bang in the head. I think this is just a good solid run. They'll knock it out of the park on the night, especially with the wacky, crazy costumes that they've got. And rock this year, I think, is going to rock. Finland have done it. Italy have done it. But that is what I think. Please do, of course, let me know what you think. Is it actually rather poor? And do you see it maybe going bottom of the table? Do you see it always, going all the way to the top and rocking it? So we can head to Italy next year. We never know. Please do let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video, and of course, if you haven't subscribed to me as of yet, well, what are you doing? I know many of you viewers out there haven't subscribed to me, so please click that like button, subscribe button down at the bottom left there. If you want to see a little playlist of all my reactions so far, click there. And if you have subscribed, then please ring the bell to get notified about my latest videos. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, as it's the last one of the reactions. Toodaloo!